Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly game master today, because today we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign playing Paizo Publishing's very cool Pathfinder 2nd Edition fantasy RPG, set in my own custom setting of Paridar, the Spires of Paridar campaign, a setting of occult conspiracy, steampunk or coalpunk progress, industrial corruption, and mystery. With me today are the stars of the Spires of Paridar campaign. I'll go the order. I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing? First, let me get a sneeze out of my system. It's all that coal dust. Oh, my goodness. First up, we've got Sean.
Hello, I am playing Golag, son of Doc. He is a orc, witch, and detective by trade.
Very nice. Next up is James.
And I'm playing Sally Dumer, a deep-sea martial artist who's used to the dark down at the bottom of the sea, but right now is getting really, really sick and tired of shadow.
Understandable. Next up is Ingolf.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ingolf. I'm playing Basil Rathbone. He is an Izoki investigator, and people call him a rat. I don't know why.
And last but certainly not least is Darren.
Yep, I'm playing Dr. Adam Ersprung, who's a second-level inventor with his trusty sidekick, Igor.
Very nice. All right, guys. Now, this is part 5 of our adventure, The Endless Odyssey. What has happened thus far?
Well, last time, I can go through what happened last time.
Sure.
We visited Mrs. Tobenair, or Tobenair?
Yes.
In the poor quarters to ask her about her previous employment. She mentioned Oggy Thatch, who we obviously determined was actually Augustus Thorn Grove, the man we've been looking into. Mm-hmm. Quite soon after arriving and meeting the lady and her children, we was attacked by a number of these shadow mites and something we called a shadow dragon. That was quite a in-depth combat with these creatures sort of restoring themselves or each other. So we finally got the best of those, escorted the family to our offices to try and protect them after doing quite a number on their home, smashing the place up through no fault of our own, really. So we looked into getting some protection for the office, especially now we've got this family staying with us. Morris Watson-Fole helped us out by sending a new character, Professor Rowley Galberry, was it?
Yes.
And a number of her students to look at setting up some sort of rituals or spells to protect the premises. But on us showing the red stone that we'd taken off of, what was it, Lady...
it was...
Beatrice? No.
Ivywood?
Izora Ivywood? I think.
Yeah, Mrs. Ivywood.
It was Mrs. Ivywood. Yeah, once we showed that stone, the professor was, a bit obsessed with it, that it was particularly powerful, dangerous, and needed more investigation. So they put to one side what they were going to do to protect the office and went off to research that stone and potentially, hopefully, come up with some sort of weapons of light and stuff for us to fight the threats of the shadows that have been cursing us over the last few days. And I think that's pretty much where we left it.
Okay. Anyone have anything to add? Or does that bring us up to speed?
What are those flares from the university department?
Indeed.
Sounds good.
Yes. We were going to get help from another professor on that or something, right? Well, the university anyway, as you said.
Yes, he's what Professor Galberry had said was that while the College of Magic, or the colleges of magic, were forbidden from interfering in this thing, he said that there was no such dictate for the School of Engineering, and he was going to ask for help from them. So, anything else to add, guys, or does that bring us up to where we are?
I think Sally, you was gonna go and get the big lantern still, weren't you? Like the boat lantern that we were gonna
from Mrs.
use
Hunter?
as a temporary, temporary sort of protection, or not protection, but
my next thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, I think first what we'll do is we'll wrap up the evening after Professor Galberry has left with his students and with a stone. We were talking before we went live about the way to get Igor back into proper shape. I'd say fighting form, but technically I think he's an orderly, so ready for work, as it were.
Yeah.
All right. So why don't you give us... what you can do is you can make a DC 15 check to try and restore 2d8 points of damage to Igor, or you can roll against a 20 and restore 2d8 plus 10.
Yeah, I'll go for the standard 15
15?
DC, because he's not too badly banged up.
There you go. No problem. Go ahead and give us a 2d8 roll. Yeah, you only need 6, I guess, so there you go.
Yeah.
He's back up and running.
Nice.
So overnight, you will end up healing 2 points of damage, because you guys are second level. Do you wish to administer any further medicine, Dr. Earthsprung?
Yeah, anyone that needs it. I mean, Golag will get his back anyway. It's just myself, I think, really, to be honest.
Okay.
So I'll just do a sort of a low DC medicine check on myself.
See how you do. Nat 1!
That is terrible. I think we'll be re-rolling that.
Spin a hero point right away.
Let's kick off with...
Get it started.
Good evening.
Okay, so unsuccessful for that. I mean, you can keep trying again.
No, it's an early start. We'll leave it. We'll leave it for now.
Okay.
We'll have to shrug that off.
For fear of the Nat 1. Oh man, you forgot that like one part of your arm that was injured. That part is actually allergic to penicillin, and the rest of it.
Sort of trying to heal these normal folk as I see them, and I've forgotten how my body works.
Exactly. All right. So then, guys, we see our heroes retire for the evening for a night's rest, and fortunately everyone has a full night's rest with no disturbance. You would each heal, so Dr. Earthsprung, you'd also heal another 2 points overnight, just naturally. And with the coming of morning, are any of you particularly early risers, do you think, or would everyone be woken up at the customary time of, like, say, 7 o'clock or 6:30 or whatever?
I think Golag probably got it drummed into him from an early age, and he'd prefer, at times he'd prefer not to, but it's too late. He's been fully indoctrinated in his father's rigor.
I hear the same thing with long-term members of the military as well too. That's just impossible to shake, the habits of that.
I think the doctor will be similar, and not because of that. He's just got so many things on the go. He's got so many inventions that are a quarter, halfway made, and he's looking at trying to fit in some patients before doing it. He's just constantly on the go.
Okay. So I think it is Golag and Dr. Earthsprung. You guys are up while I imagine that Sovin is familiar with your habits, so you can smell that breakfast is being prepared for you guys. Sally Dumer and Basil, I'm not suggesting that you guys are, teenage boys sleeping until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But are you guys going to be more like you'll be woken once breakfast is ready?
Absolutely, because once I get out of my pool, I need to go and have a shower and then a bath.
Yeah.
So it does take time.
Okay.
And I think Basil, I saw he took care of the children at the evening, and it maybe was more exhausting than he had imagined. So he wants to get up, but he was just couldn't make it in time.
Yeah. Just a few more minutes, Sophin. So it is Golag and Dr. Earthsprung. Perhaps you're in the study or, working at some, there may be a place in the basement that you've got set aside, Dr. Earthsprung, for whatever, things that you might want to be working on. When you hear that there's a knock at the door, and you can hear Sophin gently cursing and heading to, he's got, what's her name now?
He's got
Miss
a lackey
Fallow.
now.
So you can hear Miss Fallow make their way to the door. She opens the door, and yes, and you can hear the accent of someone from one of the poorer neighborhoods. Says, "Delivery." And she's, all right. All right, boys, bring it in. And you can hear there are several men bringing in crates. You can hear them being set up, and Golag, you're in the study where the Miss Fallow throws the doors open, and you can see she's like immediately. Claire Tabiner, right, not Fallow.
Fallow's the up and comer that turned.
So what happens when you look at your the mess that is your notes for something and don't confirm. So Miss Tabiner throws it open, and you can see that she has got herself completely together as a maid now. Whatever little bits of grub, from the cleaning up her kids and whatnot, keeping her house, all gone. She's completely put together. She absolutely looks the part of a professional maid at this point, or a professional housekeeper. Door opens up, and she says, "Sir, would you like these put near then?"
Oh, that'd be fine, Ms. Tabiner. That'd be fine.
All right. And you see there's two, it's a mix. There's one half-orc in amongst the other fairly burly humans, one dwarf who's sort of supervising the whole thing. They bring everything in, and it looks like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crates of various sizes. The largest of them is probably about... it's about 1 foot by about 4, or maybe 4.5. The other ones are varying in size, but they are the kind of packing, Victorian style packing crates, like boards that have been put together. You can see straw sticking out the side where things have been carefully packaged inside. Then they, once everything's finished, the dwarf walks over to you, says, "Sir, get you to sign for this."
Yeah, of course, my good man. Where's this from? My good dwarf. Where's this from?
He looks up at you and starts flipping through, and the effort he puts through flipping each page is greater than any of the efforts that the laborers put in. Halfway through flipping through them, he looks up at you again. Says here a Professor Gulberry.
All right, that will be fine.
Closes it off.
I do the customary, whatever Paridar's tipping situation is. I conform.
Okay. The most kind sir, most kind sir. He says it in such a way that you can tell it's just the thing he says routinely. Mm-hmm. There's no sincerity behind it whatsoever. He turns and heads out. We'll lift the other one outside. And then he's out the door and closed before. And Miss Tabiner says, if they've left one outside, sir, should we have that retrieved? Or I don't...
We should, with a shake of his head. He goes, let's have a look. And Golag follows her.
So you follow her out there, and what you see is the remnants. It looks like this thing. There is a box that is about maybe 12 feet tall and about 25 feet long. And it looks like it was a hell of a thing to try and transport this thing between, different wagons. They've actually broken down stuff on it where they had basically converted the box itself into a sort of like a cart they could pull along. They're all getting, things thrown back into their, big draft horse-driven carts, and then they're heading off to wherever they're coming from. You can note, Golag, as your perception is quite good, even at a passive, very briefly you see stamped on the side of one of the transport carts, there is a Collingwood University. So it seems that these are staff members from Collingwood.
You said 12 by 25 or so, right? Something like that?
Yeah, it's big.
Dear
it's like the
goodness.
it's the like wooden equivalent of a shipping container, almost.
By the spires. I was going to complain they didn't take it inside. Now I'm not sure what to think.
Should we leave it out there, sir, or should I perhaps have someone watch for it?
We should definitely leave someone out here watching for it until we can secure this properly. Sylvan!
She yells, "Timothy!" And one of her kids suddenly comes out of one of the rooms. Come here. And she says,
Oh, we've hired a whole staff now, I see, he says with a smile.
"Oh, putting these hands to work will keep him out of trouble, sir."
He puts the smallest possible farthing, as it were, in Timothy's hand.
Okay.
And says, for good work now. I don't want any dallying out here.
She looks down. "You heard the mister." And he says, "All right." She says, "You watch that thing and you tell us if anyone comes and messes with it." And he says, "All right." And he puts his coat on, and puts a cap on and whatnot, and then he scampers outside. The two other boys, who I think they were Matthew and I can't remember what the other one's name was. Timothy, Matthew. It was all biblical names. In any event, the other two boys come running over. "Well up too, sir. Well up too. We're quite good at this. Just you boys, mind your business, mind your manners. Go back and get to what you were working on. You got schoolwork you need to get done."
Is there anything on the outside of the crates to indicate what's inside?
Nothing you can see. No.
He goes back inside and says to no one in particular, hoping Sylvan can hear, "We're going to need some crowbars or something to see at least what's inside."
Dr. Ersprung, you can see if you take a moment to look over the various crates that are here, you can see that there is a note that has been nailed to the exterior of one of them.
Yep, I shall go and pick that up and have a look.
You tear it up, and it's sealed with the the wax seal, or perhaps some magical equivalent of Dr. Galberry's office, and it is addressed to Shadow Illuminations.
Yeah, I shall have a look and see what it says.
Pull it out. It's just a very brief note from Dr. Galberry indicating that he spoke to the Department of Engineering, and they were, in particular, their speculative engineering department was particularly keen on providing assistance once the context was explained. They hope that these will assist you in your endeavors. And then it's signed Professor Raleigh Galberry.
Yeah, so I should just hand this to Golak, and as I'm handing it to him, I'll start just ripping stuff open.
Okay.
Intrigued at what's inside.
Sure. So why don't you give us, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7. So give us a D7 roll, please.
Okay. Five.
5. So you pull, and the one you start with is actually the longest one. And with your either on your own or with Igor's help, you're quickly easy to break the thing open. And you can see that there is a bunch of packaging on top of this, a bunch of straw or loose material that has been put on, and there is a note on top that reads, "For Monsieur Ducard." And if you dig around a little further, what you find is a incredibly inventive weapon. You pull it out, and it is a rapier that has somehow had a pistol also incorporated into its design. So it can be used as a rapier as well as a pistol, combining the two into one ingenious weapon. I can't remember, are you trained in Arcana?
Yeah.
So you don't need to make any roll for this then. You can recognize there is also a rune that has been crafted into here too. So this means it is likely a magical weapon. Sorry, Ingolf, you were going to ask?
No, I was just, it's like a knuckle duster. You know, this things where you have the revolver and, I don't know how you call this.
Like a bronze knuckles?
Yeah. It's brass knuckles, and it has also a kind of a little knife in it, so you can cut and punch, and you can even shoot.
It's a trench knife, isn't it?
Maybe.
Is that what it's called? But anyway, so it's got a combination of a rapier and that in there. It looks to be of impressive. It's not really, your weapon of choice, but a truly impressive piece of technology. Golag, I think once you've sorted out things with Ms. Tabiner or Mrs. Tabiner and her children, you come back and you can see Dr. Ersprung holding up this device. In his oversized hands, it looks, like a fairly comical thing, because, it looks like it could not do anything terribly, isn't particularly dangerous is what I'm getting at, because it looks like a child's toy. But in the hands of Mr. Ducard, that Hannibal could put quite deadly use to this thing.
Oh, well, that's unexpected.
There is a matching scabbard in there as well, and the scabbard itself has like a little bandolier kind of thing down the side, so it can easily accommodate extra shots for the one-shot pistol. So that's what you see as Dr. Ersprung. He's opened up one of the crates and found that there are a bunch of other crates around. What do you guys wish to do?
Golag's still bellowing for Sylvan to bring a crowbar. He says, we have a lot more outside. There's much to do. Our young, very young staff is looking after it.
Okay. Sally and Basil, I think this is the point where you guys are woken up by sort of the commotion of what's going on. It's not far from when you would wake up again. Basil, you wake up, and I think that I'm trying to think of what sign. You roll over in bed, and there's a toy. There's a toy in here. Oh, you forgot to. You had that with you. Ms. Dumer, you're finishing getting yourself through your morning ablutions, as it were. So the two of you, I'm picturing around the same time. Basil, maybe with his hair kind of up a little bit, or fur on one side. You both step into the hall, and it sounds like there's a lot of commotion going on the first floor. What would you guys like to do?
Just to say, I will not be quiet in any sense of the word, and I will not be tidy. I'll be just ripping things open like a Christmas day. It's like toys, gadgets, and so everyone, if they were sort of slowly waking up, they would definitely be woken up now. And I'll be making a mess, and Golak will probably be giving me some harsh stares, but I'll be ignoring all that.
Fortunately, I'm too busy bellowing at, exasperated with Sylvan's lack of alacrity on this crowbar.
Everything will be open by the time he gets here, don't worry.
Right. Well, you haven't seen the box outside, my good doctor, but you're doing quite good work.
So then,
I'll
Doctor...
come sweeping down the stairs then.
Okay, so you come down the stairs, and Golag seems very animated about securing a crowbar for some reason. Basil, if you poke your head down, you can see this going on. Dr. Ersprung, why don't you give us a D6 roll now? Let's see what's the next thing you open. 3.
That's a 3.
You open it up. It is a box about that big by about that big. And you pull this open with Igor's assistance, and within there is a note for Monsieur Rathbone. Not waiting at all?
Oh no, I won't wait for him. I'll be intrigued what it is.
Okay, so you start.
I won't do anything to it, obviously, but
So you start pulling the thing apart, and what you find nested within there is actually something very similar to what you've seen before.
oh,
It is one of those clockwork spies that you have seen before.
Interesting.
This one looks to be completely new, though. Like, this has not been damaged whatsoever. I think that Dr. Earthsprung may have seen one in the, like, very
I think
briefly.
I've got one on a bench somewhere.
Yeah, that's been like broken
Trying to
apart and
put
shit.
back together.
Yeah. But this one seems to be, yeah, I mean, this one seems to be in complete, complete order, and is a little different. Like, it's clearly not just a stock model. It's something that was custom built.
Yeah, I should put that to one side with the note
Okay.
and carry on.
That was for Monsieur Ducard.
Ducard.
Yep, Hannibal. Okay. And you guys can let me know when when Sally or Basil enter the scene, or Golag decides to interact here. Otherwise, we'll get
Open crates myself? Is that what you just inferred? Let's not get completely out of hand.
So then, Dr. Earthsprung, would you give us a D5 roll, please? Okay.
Fine.
So you find this one. Grab my book here. So I cleverly got up this morning and went through and made a meticulous list of all the things that the engineering department was going to learn. And when I sat down to do this, I wisely thought to myself, Kev, you make sure to put down those page reference numbers, because that's really going to speed things up. And then what I immediately did was get completely dazzled by what was in the book and completely forgot to put the fucking page references down. So I do apologize for having to flip through this stuff. The intention was there, but the will was weak when I started looking through
The execution.
You ferreting around in the book is like Dr. Earthsprung ferreting around in the boxes.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
All right, so here's what you find is there are two of these. They're like a brass canister, very long. If you picture sort of like a, like the, I'm trying to think of what. I'm so sorry for this reference. My mind immediately goes to Tremors. If you guys remember the film Tremors, there's a part where the survivalists make those homemade bombs with the kind of like fittings on either side. God, another year goes by where I get to make a reference to Tremors. Fantastic.
Check the box.
Exactly. No, the film that I've seen more often than any other film.
That's funny.
So, it is about what you see in there. Those brass canisters are about the length of that, and they're about the width of those things too. So they're about like they have these caps on the end too. But what you can see is there's like a mechanism to activate this. You don't need to make a roll to identify these things, Dr. Earthsprung, because this is you're able to parse out what this is. Each of these things is a flare beacon, and if you guys go into the compendium. You can enter in flare beacon, two separate words, if you want to see what the rules are. Oh, maybe you can't. Hold on. Oh, because I can't spell. That's why. So if you spell flare beacon correctly, this is
a major.
It is a moderate flare beacon. There are two moderate flare beacons in here, and what they do. They create incredibly bright light for a brief period of time. They're often used to signal a beacon's location, and blah, 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 blah. The thing springs into life, creates a bright light radius for 60 feet, dim for the next 60, and creatures within 10 feet of the beacon must succeed at a DC 20 fortitude save or be dazzled until they're no longer within 10 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Golag, you just sort
Indeed.
of can feel like if Dr. Earthsprung explains what these things will do, you can feel almost like your shadow recoils a bit. The pain that no doubt that intensely bright alchemical light would cause would be quite deleterious, or have quite deleterious effects on any kind of shadow creatures.
I think Golag gets excited and eyes go wide. Oh, here we go, and then realizes he's being rude in a inside baseball kind of way,
Yeah.
and he kind of sort of weirdly, mystically apologizes to his
His shadow.
yeah.
So there are. How does he speak to his shadow anyway? Is it as a third person, or is it does he only think these things, or does he speak to it?
I'm trying to remember the language situation, but I think he speaks infernal to it.
Okay.
And if that's correct, whatever's correct, I think that's correct.
I think there is that shadow tongue that certain creatures would be, but I don't think you actually speak it.
Yeah, I don't think I do either. I was just looking at my languages.
And
so,
rules is written, you can telepathically communicate with your familiar, so you certainly don't have to, speak out loud. I'm just curious if that's how he.
Oh, I think then in that case, yeah, I think for whatever reason, I am mumbling infernal, but I'm actually telepathically.
Yeah.
Communicate. And for some reason, that's the way I do it for myself, if not the shadow.
Yeah.
And kind of make some kind of human comforting gestures, which of course are irrelevant to it. But so it's really almost for myself in a sense.
Yep.
But it gets the point.
Absolutely.
It gets the.
The two flare beacons that are in there, those are not addressed to any one individual. So, next box is a 1d4, please.
Which was it? A greater one? Did you say? Sorry.
Moderate.
Moderate. Sorry.
Moderate.
Yeah.
Next
that's
one.
a 4.
R. I think this is in the same section here. Nope. I will say all these are drawn from Guns and Gears, from the most recent sourcebook for Pathfinder 2nd, and it's just full of great shit. Great stuff. Hence my distraction from actually writing this stuff down. Okay. Come on, Madison. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
It's in the extremely powerful
Utility
items
gear.
in the
Here
back.
we go. They have stuff organized by different categories, and there's 5 different sections in this, which is helpful if you're looking just for utility gear or specifically thematic gear for one type of technology source. But when you're looking for just the one thing, it's a little challenging. What is in here are 3 mechanical torches. These are powered by electricity. You can turn on a mechanical torch and turn it off by toggling a lever on it, and it looks very much like. Imagine you had a cop flashlight with a really long handle, all made out of brass, but at the top, instead of having something that goes out like that, it has the kind of like the maritime lanterns where they have the light inside, and there's there is a cage, a heavy metal cage that protects it from damage. That's what this thing looks like. Then you pull a lever on the thing and it brightens up. What this does, it sheds bright light. This, likewise, if you just do a compendium search for mechanical torch, when you activate it, the thing sheds bright light in a 20-foot radius, or if you change the aperture on it, so 20-foot radius bright, 20-foot dim, or a 40-foot cone of bright, and which then has 40 feet more of dim. It requires a single interaction action to flip the switch to change the aperture, and has sufficient charge to operate for 10 minutes. You can recharge.
Recharge with the crank.
Yep, you can recharge with the crank in 1 minute via a integrated crank charge mechanism, which will create sparks while you're doing so. That's just, oof, boy, the horror GM in me really wants to run out, and all you're seeing is just lights from the sparks flying up in pitch blackness.
Yeah.
That's great shit. So there are 3 of those, and likewise, those are not addressed to anybody. Then next one will be a D3 roll, please. Okay, 1, 2, 3. This one you open up, it is about a foot long and about 3/4 of a foot wide box. A little longer than a foot. When you open this thing up, you can see on top, because she's in here now, there is for Mademoiselle Dumer. Do you hand her the note?
I'll hand her the note as I continue to sort of go through the box looking.
So you continue looking through, and what you find in there is it's a little unusual. It looks like very delicately crafted and exquisite, kind of like thin metal gauntlets that can be placed on. It would easily fit on her hand. Why don't you give us a do you have a profession that would relate to crafting, Dr. Earthsprung, or?
I've got crafting, yeah.
Yeah, give us a
Obviously.
crafting check. Let's see what you know. That'll probably. Okay. You're not quite sure what this thing is. Like, there does appear to be instructions in here, so you could read. And Sally, you see him.
I shall hand it to Sally.
Okay, so Sally, you get these things. They're not as heavy as they look, but they appear to be like gloves or gauntlets that you could easily slip over your hand. And there's some kind of larger mechanism that is on the top of these things. Did you want to try these things on and see if they?
Oh yes.
So you put these things on.
Slide them on.
You can see that there are on each of them. There are small runic glyphs as well. So there does appear to be some magic that has been enhanced in these. And, just to test your motions, you gesture with your hand to in kind of a aquatic Tai Chi type move. And what happens is that the gauntlet then goes and extends out 10 feet and comes back. What you could do with this is any of your unarmed attacks, when you're wearing these, you now have reach on them.
Cool.
These also grant +1 to hit from them because of the glyphs that are in them. These are enchanted. If you want to look up the other stuff for them, they are pantograph gauntlets. Pantograph, all one word. It should be in the compendium as well. And you're so very quickly, like, you're able to control how fast they will spin out and come back.
A sniper monk.
Yeah, really.
Indeed.
Okay. So that leaves
Very good.
only 2 more boxes.
Not including the outside.
Not including the one outside. Yeah,
Giant?
that is a crate.
Yeah.
So then, number 2, you open up one, Dr. Earthsprung, and this one is quite small. It is about maybe 8 inches. You're suddenly crushed by a giant box that I didn't tell you about. It's 8 inches by around 6 inches. It very easily comes open, even just in your hands alone. And what you find, I believe this is under utility. It's honestly something that I think you have been thinking about designing just to make your work easier, but never got around to it. What you pull out is, let's see here. There we go. A cauterizing torch. So this thing looks like about, it's again about the size of like a flashlight, not quite as big. But you pull a little mechanism on it, and there's a little flame that comes out. This isn't a cutting thing. It's a very delicate flame, and it has a gauge underneath it that allows you to control where the exposure is. but this thing allows you to, the note inside it was actually addressed to Dr. Ursprung, and the cauterizing torch applied to yourself or an adjacent target, you can try and end persisting bleed effects with a immediate and lower DC for trying to stop bleeding.
Oh.
Okay. Those are, and that also is can be found in the compendium. There is one more box left. So, yeah. Darren, do you want to give us a roll of a 1d1? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'll go one.
The last thing you open, it is actually about the same size as the other one, 8 inches by 6 inches. And let me just find it here. You find a note inside, likewise addressed to Dr. Ursprung. And what you find within there is a length of conductive coil that seems to be about a foot long. It has handles on either end that are made out of treated wood, and there is a mechanism that seems to activate this on one end. What this is a electro cable. With activating this thing, it superheats the cable, and then you can use that to, I think, like, if you activate it, you could just gesture against the box, and it cuts right through the box. Electric cable you can find in the compendium as well, but what it does is while it is active, the coils electrify the cable, dealing 1d6 electricity and 1d6 fire in that precise line. It's too cumbersome to use as a weapon, but for cutting through metal or something like that, or cutting through, say, having to do quick, what's the word I'm looking for here? The removal of a limb, then this is ideal. It also ignores 10 points of a metal object's hardness. So this is for craft, really both sides of your scientific interest, your fabricating and things. Yep, pantograph gauntlet. So this seems... Golag... You're looking around the room like, is there not any more boxes in here? Because you haven't heard your name called yet.
He's trying to not look disappointed, but in effect, they're all for me, if you will. But we do have a rather large crate outside.
Okay.
And let's continue the momentum and relieve our young staff of their.
Before you finish that sentence, I shall be outside.
So Dr. Ursprung, you walk out, and the kids, one of them has somehow, like, they're basically trying to scramble on top of the crate to watch it, and cut that out, Timothy. And you walk out, and they turn around. Oh, sir, we're just watching it, sir. That's all.
Excellent work.
Good. So you walk up to this thing, and it does seem to be like it's nailed, and sealed quite well, but it does appear like there is a crude door that has been built into this, and it just has been sealed. I think if you want to make a new use out of your new tool, a quick gesture with this will cut through.
I should put it to the test.
Okay. It more than surpasses. It just cuts a corner out of this, like lightsaber style, and you're able to pull the door open. You pull this thing open, and within there is something there's a lot of packing material that's in here as well too, but there is something quite large, like a carriage sized, covered by a leather tarp.
Intriguing.
Gola, you can see as Dr. Ursprung pulls the door open, there is a note that has been attached to the door. And by note, I mean, like, it's about the size of like a manila envelope.
I guess Golag will reach for it.
Okay, you pull it. It it has Dr. Galberry's insignia sealing the package, as well as, and it feels like it's got like at least like 60 or 70 pages worth of writing in here.
Mm-hmm. Well, he'll take out a monocle unnecessarily and pop it.
Okay.
Pop it open.
You pop it open, you pull it out, and there's two things in here. There's one small note from Dr. Galberry that says, for Monsieur Golag, kindly enjoy, or I hope that this will prove useful in your illuminations. Signed, Professor Raleigh Galberry, PhD, Doctor of Magic, and what it's attached to, that little note is attached to, is a fairly voluminous handwritten guide to the operation of a clockwork wagon.
Oh, indeed. My gracious. I didn't know we were missing one of those, but now I do. And he's poring over the guide and says, someone have a look at it. Let's see, let's decrate it if we can.
So, Dr. Ersprung, you have a much better success at discerning. Engineers are brilliant people. Creating things, though, and communicating the use of those things are not necessarily the same skill. So it takes a little bit of an expertise to figure out what is being referred to in here and how to manage it and whatnot. But basically, this is a fairly long document that is intended to give you all the information you need to operate and maintain your clockwork wagon. This thing, if you pull the tarp back, what you find is a fairly ornate looking covered wagon. Built with cogs and gears running along the interior and exterior, that runs exclusively on clockwork power.
Oh my goodness.
It can accommodate a driver, as well as 4 passengers, and it can accommodate 400 bulk of cargo that can be pulled with it. It does not move super quickly. But with an hour of wind-up, it has 8 hours of operation time.
Oh, excellent.
And you can
Sylvan.
see, if you roll it out of the crate, you can see that on the side there is Dr. Galberry has apparently either used magic or requested the engineers to engrave the name Shadow Illuminations on the side, so there will be no mistake.
My gracious, the doctor has exceeded his remit. This is outstanding. Sylvan! And when Sylvan appears, he hands him the voluminous document and points at it. However, Sylvan takes that and then turns back around.
Dr. Ersprung takes it back from Sylvan again, continues reading through. You have a full understanding of the operation and the maintenance of this. A lot of it is troubleshooting, and a lot of it is speculative. So it definitely, if this thing is damaged or whatnot, it will require expertise to actually repair this thing. But it seems that you guys now have yourself the first horseless carriage in consumer use in Paridar.
I'm pretty sure my father does not have one of these.
Priorities. I love it.
I think Basil will approach Golag, and I will just whisper, so imagine how bad of a conscience they must have in order to give us all this stuff.
Interesting point, Basil. Interesting point.
So,
and he's shining. He's rubbing his hand over the etching.
Yeah.
Over the.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, we merely asked for some light sources. It's it's a fair point.
So, Basil, when you are delivered that, you can find. I think it's called. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Where is it? It is called Instant Spy.
Instant Spy, okay.
So it has the same audio recording mechanisms as the Clockwork Spy, as well as a short-lived gemstone that can store up to 1 hour of sound to play back. Once you've activated it, it surreptitiously begins all the sounds, recording all sounds for an hour in general. But unlike the one in the rulebook, this one is not a consumable. This one is reusable. It will record over, but you can keep using this thing over and over again.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
So, with that, guys, you all... Golag, Sylvan finally brings out a coat because it's still winter, and you're standing outside admiring your, and as is the case, even in Paridar, the delivery of a new vehicle brings all the dads to the yard. So you can see people are coming out to sort of inspect this thing and like, what is this thing? What is this contraption? People are stopping on the street. It is quite a bit of attention you're getting here.
Golag's pointing to the etching on the side.
Yes. So Sylvan comes out, puts the coat over Anya. Would everyone who is still outside kindly give us a perception check, please? Sally, insult to injury, a nat 1 on your perception.
I'm too busy looking at my glove.
Yeah, I've got
Nice.
my nose in books, and I'm putting Igor onto winding duty on this wagon straight away.
Cool. All right, so it's starting to wind this sucker up. He'll be doing that for the next hour. Basil and Golag, what you notice as you're looking over, because I think the Basil, partly because just that is your nature is to be inquisitive and to be always on the look for clues or information. Golag, because you want to see, I guess, noting who's being impressed of your neighbors.
Absolutely. I'm watching expressions like, huh? Yeah.
What you can see, you remember that alleyway across from your place where that the inspector from the Paridar Detective Agency was located before? Mm-hmm. You can see that there is a figure standing there with a long black dress on, hands in a stole, veil across the face, and a artfully large or stylishly large woman's hat on, who seems to be watching these proceedings.
Do I will maybe do I see that Basil is also looking in the same direction?
If you spare a look up at Basil, I think you can see when Basil looks like he nods back at you.
What do you?
You're muted, Ingles.
Basil.
Sorry, does she have a cat?
She does not. Both hands are in a stole. It could very well be a cat within her black winter coat, but it doesn't look like it's terribly bulky.
She doesn't seem to be here for the wagon. What do you think, Basil?
No, I think we should talk to her.
Yes. I tap both, or at least indicate to Ms. Demir and Mr. Dr. Ersprung, and to make sure they get a kind of the sense of what's going on, and then I head on over.
So how do you do that?
I'm going to. How far away?
You're all sort of, I think, unless Ms. Dubert stayed inside, it sounds like the three men are outside, and Sally may be at either looking out from inside out, or James, do you think she would have joined everyone outside for the unboxing?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're all, yeah.
I'm curious.
It's easy for you guys to step together and quickly have a word and try to do so surreptitiously.
Yeah, I just indicate that I'm going to that they know that I'm up to something, and something's afoot, and then I look at Basil, presuming he's going to follow, and I walk over to the individual.
Sure. And he, directly towards.
Yep.
Okay. while I did not write down the page references, I did do something else that I've been promising to do for a couple of weeks now.
Got cards.
That is move my fucking spell cards into here.
Oh, nice.
So, as you are making your way along, what happens is, where's that fireball spell? I mean, I'm sorry. Is this thing on? Oh no! Oh god! Hot mic.
Those clockwork grenades.
All right. What you can see is the figure takes 2 steps back. You can't see the face because of the veil, and then one of the hands comes out of the stole, and you can see there's a black glove, lace glove, that is concealing the hand. There's a gesture that you can recognize as a magical gesture, and then vanishes.
Golag, I think, at her first movement is going to instinctively reach to doff his cap, which he doesn't have on because the whole thing was in such a, he's outside uncharacteristically without proper attire.
Yep.
But then he sees the gesture, and I think he probably knows. He can we not just have a chat here? Like, he's a little exasperated. Like, really? Can I just not? Because he knows something's happened or something's about to happen or whatever. He's a. But he stops. I think he stops at that with an exasperated, looks at her and waits. Kind of just waits. He thinks something's happening, so he's like, okay, fine. Like what?
So Golag seems to have stopped. Basil, are you continuing to approach, or?
Yeah, I would stop as well and say, Miss Fellow, I presume.
Okay, so I think you're gonna have to make your way through the crowd of looky-loos who are inspecting the horseless carriage, and you get over to the alleyway and call out the name. There's no response. The alleyway, in spite of the daytime, though, given the early hour, is still fairly substantially shrouded in shadows. Do you wish to venture into the alleyway?
Golag calls out, "Madam, may we have a chat?"
So you've joined Basil on the far side?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you can picture that, like in the film version of this stuff, you'd hear all the people talking about your wagon or whatnot, but the sound would slowly drift away from all of them as you make your way over to that alleyway and join Basil. And it almost feels like it is like the commotion around this wagon has been muffled as you guys stand at the front entrance to the mouth of this alleyway. No sign of her in there whatsoever. There still are on the ground the cast-off, hand-rolled cigarettes from your father's employee from not long ago. It seems as if she was standing in almost the exact same place.
But not now.
Cannot see her whatsoever, no.
Basil, remind me to have this alley walled off, would you, when we have time? But anyway, what do you think? I mean, I think you're probably correct. If there was anyone else, I think they would have been likely to respond.
Yeah.
Or a courteous hail.
Yeah. I think we should not walk into the shadow right now.
You
can also hear, you can almost hear Basil, the sound of something snarling within the shadows.
Can I see what's going on?
Yeah, if you look over,
it
seems like, am I right in thinking that this is just this device would be something that would really capture Dr. Ursprung's imagination?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Okay, so you're sort of looking through this stuff, and you go to talk to Golag. You're like, you can... and you look over and you can see that Basil and Golag are standing at the entrance to this alleyway, and you can see there's nothing there, but you can, of course, just because of the events of last night when one came alive and tried to kill you, you can see that they're standing before a shadow engulfed alleyway.
I'm gonna run back into the office.
Okay.
grab one of these mechanical torches and run across the alleyway.
Sure.
The good doctor
Sort
has
of
once
turning
again
it
read my
on.
mind.
Turning it on
Unsurprisingly,
as I run across the.
Pigeons flying before, a cyclist. The crowd just parts as you go running through. You get over to there, and with a flick, do you have it in the overall illumination thing, or do you have the aperture set so it's a cone?
Yeah, it probably only needs a cone down the alleyway, doesn't it? So yeah.
You turn it, and you guys can see this thing is quite impressive. I think it's like 40 and 40, isn't it? Isn't that what I said? For light with a mechanical torch?
It was 40.
Yeah. So, like, almost the entire length of the alleyway is illuminated in this brilliant white light.
Yeah.
There's
40.
no sign of anyone in there. Now,
Yeah, I just sort of, shine it around up and down. And...
sure. Golag, Basil, and Dr. Earthsprung, do any of you guys have, I think it's survival?
Yeah, I think. Wait a minute.
P4.
If you have a T in it, at least, a trained.
Yep.
No, I'm not trained in it. No.
Yeah.
No,
Golag.
I'm not. No.
Okay, so Golag, why don't you give us a survival check, please? Also, guys, everyone gets a hero point. I'm way late on that. You're going to be 5 minutes, you're going to get a second one.
Mm-hmm.
So that isn't a great roll. You want to roll, try again?
Sure. Let's just go ahead and do that. Better.
Look at that. Holy smokes. Nat 20.
There you go.
So what you can do is with Dr. Earthsprung illuminating this now, wow, the kind of that hum you get from the incandescent light bulbs, you can see there are clear markings. Whoever this woman was has turned and walked away down the alleyway.
I think we should follow it. What do you all think?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you can follow this for at least, because it's a nat 20, you can follow these tracks for a good, 3 or 4 blocks before you sort of lose the thing. She seems to be making her way, generally speaking, in the direction of the Ivywood house. Or at least that neighborhood. Sorry, no, she
Does
isn't.
it look like she's...
She's making her way towards the train station. That's where it would be.
And does it look like she's running? Or like the pace of the
With a nat 20, he
footsteps?
would know. No, the pace is an idle walk.
Oh, okay.
Train station.
Yes.
Is there do we think is it such a situation that we think that surely she's going to the train station, or is it just that's the most notable notable
The
location?
only reason you think of the train station, because you may recall that Stoneburn Manor is a little outside of the city limits of Paridar. In order to reach Stoneburn Manor, you would the easiest way to access it, if you don't have a, say, horseless carriage, would be to take a train.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think we should just try to maybe shortcut and get her at the train station if possible.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, I'll rush to catch up.
Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't sure the geographical disposition of everyone, but he gives a
Yeah.
kind of the.
Let's see here. What are... So I think you've got on you right now your... Sally Dumer would have her gauntlets with her because she was trying those on. Dr. Earthsprung has his light. Igor is currently on crank duty. And let's have you guys give us a... Oh, we can use our chase cards. Oh my gosh, just find another purchase. Love it.
Let me ask too, Kevin, what's the distance approximately to the train station? Like, is it quite a ways walk, or is it?
No, I mean, like, because you guys are fairly central in it, and the train station is a fairly central thing. Like, it was built. Like prior to the development, I'm not sure what it might have been, maybe a park or something like that. And then it was built down, and then there are either train lines or tunnels that lead out from the interior. If you want to picture, I'm not sure. This is a very fucking specific reference, but in my mind, I've got Edinburgh Station as a way of a mental reference, only because Edinburgh Station is located down below. And then there are all so there's all this activity and whatnot. It's not like Grand Central Station where there's tons of different platforms and whatnot too. There is sort of only really one massive sprawling area with a bunch of different trains in it, but it also has like a bit of natural light to it, because there is a glass lattice work kind of ceiling that allows natural light to come down. It also allows you to see the Scott Monument when you come into Edinburgh, which I love. So
was
let's
it
see.
Infinity War?
Sorry?
And was it an Infinity War as well?
Yes, it was. Yeah. So no joke. The scene where the two where what's her name Scarlet Witch and Vision, like just before they get into fight there, I was so drunk trying to make my way up that street years ago, like a decade ago. So I was like, I have great memories of that place. Anyway. That portion of content brought to you by Scotland Tourism. So we thank Scotland for
Seriously.
Yeah.
Got to pay the bills somehow.
My hometown.
Is Edinburgh your hometown?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I fucking love Edinburgh. I spent as many weekends as I could when I was living in Dundee in Scotland. You can insert your joke about Dundee there. If you like, but I love Edinburgh. Great city. Okay, so then let's have you guys go ahead and we go urban. Yes.
Is Golag's wondering if we'd be better off hailing a cab, and he's also depending on how close that train station is, wouldn't mind running in for more equipment, given all things considered.
Sure.
As the good doctor.
So let's do this here. I'm gonna set a number of rounds.
Okay.
That it'll take for the for the train to leave, as it were. And I'll tell you what. There we go. I've got three options to start with here. So one of the difficulties is you got three sort of routes you can take. If you're going to go back and collect anything, that's going to be one round of automatic failure with it. So I'll tick the clock forward by one for the train to be going. As it were, this is you opening up your pocket watch and seeing like, damn it, the train in the direction of Stoneburn will be leaving. The three things you can try and make your way through are either a shortcut through a construction site, pushing your way past a street market where there's going to just be people down, or pushing your way, crushing through the crowd that is on the regular thoroughfare. The difference between those things will be it's going to be basically a skill challenge. So you guys will have to make skill checks to try and get beyond these things. There are some like default things that will be will be options for you. Each round that passes will tick down the clock by one more. As an example of the ones I'm using, the cards from the chase deck here. For these ones, to get through the construction site, athletics, to just scramble over things and try and avoid injury, is one way. You could also use diplomacy or intimidation to try and get directions from workers to help your way through that thing. Next one is fruit cart, or the market area, which would be to like vault over or smash through things, or use intimidation to get them to move out of the way. Get out of the way! This is you racing through a crowded market. And this pushing through the crowd is either acrobatics or athletics, or using society to try and follow the flow of the traffic. So I'll put that in chat maybe just so you guys can try and remember. We have construction. And you know what I'll do is I'll actually load these things. I've got, because I got the subscription on Paizo, I've got PDF versions of these. I should actually load all of these chase things in so I can just put them out as samples in front of you guys in future. So athletics.
Is there any difference in the distance? Are they all similar sort of?
They're all similar, but some of them will be easier than others.
Okay, so that's just...
Yeah, like getting your way past a fruit stall and
I'm
whatnot.
so sorry.
No, that's quite all right. And these are only recommendations if you guys have pitches that you want to try. What you need to do is to get 4 successes in each of them to be able to pass through. A success on the die on your skill check gives you 1 point towards the 4. A special success, a critical. I'm thinking Dangerous Journeys right now. A critical success gives you 2. A critical failure takes away 1 success. And depending on the circumstances, may have other consequences. Like in a construction site, you could fucking injure yourself.
Doctor, do you have a thought?
I'm wondering if we should split up
So
to
there's
give
the
us
things.
more chance of seeing this, assailant. If she's taken one of these routes, so one of us might see her.
If there are things that you
One
feel
route might
you're
be
better
quicker.
at, I can tell you the athletics check to get through the construction site
there
is
is.
going to be higher than getting through the fruit cart or the market district. But conversely, the diplomacy intimidation will be lower for construction than it would be for the fruit cart. The crowd, it just gives you an opportunity to use something. And again, if you have another, like a lore or some other pitch or a special ability that you think might apply, you can feel free to make use of those.
You think to call my station, like make way, you trash.
It is a that you could definitely make use of like diplomacy or something like that rather than just society. But the trouble is, I think like by taking that approach, if you got a critical failure, the result might be that like you're screaming at a lord, out of the way, my lesser, and then someone turns around and is like, "What did you fucking say?"
I was yelling it that way.
Yeah.
If Sally's thinking, if Sally's thinking of taking the athletic construction site route, I think the doctor will be going for the large not high society, but society, just shouting as loud as he can and going through the crowd, big boots, and just running through the crowd.
Okay.
So he'll be going that route.
Okay, so Dr. Ursprung is taking making the way through the crowd. What about Basil?
And the crowd is the boulevard, not the marketplace. Is that correct?
Fruit cart is because I'm a fucking robot. I had to write down what was written there. The fruit cart is just the market district. I'm going to add a couple, and then what we'll do is when you get past these ones, guys, I will deal out new what do you call it? New obstacles.
Routes,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going fruit cart. I'll go for the final.
In anticipation of where you guys may go and my dog making noise, I will be including the guard animal in oh God,
That's great. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I think Basil, I would use underworld law. I mean, I'm basically running away and hiding somewhere, sneaking somewhere around the marketplace. I think that is something I learned at a young age for various reasons I won't dwell on.
Yeah, I love it. All right. So Basil, and which one are you going through, Basil? Sorry, the crowd or?
Yeah, the crowd. Yeah.
Okay, so Basil's going through the crowd. Then Golag, that leaves you.
Fruit market.
Fruit market. Okay, so then by splitting up, what it does is it does pass. Remember, each round counts as one tick on the clock. So that's the advantage of everyone trying to cooperate and get through one area. We have Golag and Basil making their way through the market. we have Dr. Earthsprung on the street, and we have Ms. Dumaire going through the construction site. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. And then, like, if we were playing in person, or once I load these images, like, what I would do is have your entry points so you guys could kind of see what's coming forward, possibly, to get to the end point. So you can sort of, like, this is going to be a difficult challenge right now, but fuck it. Once I get past this, it's going to be a sure, a clear line through. So then, let's start with, we'll go left to right on this, and I will use a little marker here to mark your progress. Boom, boom, boom. All right, whoopsies. Okay, so first up, Golag, what are you planning to do here? You
I'm
make your
I'm going to channel my father and pull myself up on my, orcish height and bulk and say, make way now.
Okay, so then this will be, let's see here, easy. It's going to be a DC 14 diplomacy check.
Oh, diplomacy, okay.
Yeah.
I was going for intimidation.
Oh, then yes, DC, same thing, 14 intimidation. Go ahead.
Okay, got a 16.
16, so one success. So you start making your way along, out of the way, move, and people, it's a lot of servants, unsurprisingly, that are making up the market stalls here. You have 1 of 4 making your way along through the market district. Ms. Dumaire, making your way through the construction site?
Yep.
So go ahead.
My way through.
What do you think, athletics?
Diplomacy.
Diplomacy? Oh, of course, because you kick ass at that. So for diplomacy, that is likewise going to be a 14.
And time for a little hero point there.
Nice. That one! Oh, no! Ms. Dumaire, you come racing over towards the construction site, and lo and behold, who is it that you see there?
2, then a 1.
Yeah. It is, where is she? Sally! It's Daphne.
Daphne, darling.
It has been so long, and she stops and she's grabbing you and hugging you in that really that incredibly enthusiastic way that Daphne does. So she just won't I think you guys probably have this dynamic based on what you said before, where she'll grab onto you and you'll sort of playfully try and get free. So whatever efforts you're trying at first to make to get free, she thinks you're just playing. So you put yourself back to in the process of getting through the construction site. By 1, so not by 2, by 1. All right. So then, Basil.
Yeah, I'll just try to sneak around, or to just know where there's an opening where I can slip through.
Yeah. So then this one will be a DC of 15. Whoa! Critical success. You are 2 ahead through the crowd right now, Basil. You certainly. What does it look like as you so easily make your way through the legs or the packages people are carrying?
Yeah, maybe it's like when you have these small animals where the camera follows them.
Yes.
Nice.
Did I fail to mention that your little eyeglass spy also functions as a clockwork GoPro?
So I was just thinking a little,
Paridar TikTok is going to go crazy for you. Also, you want to know what the Paridar version of TikTok is called? TikTok. It's a clockwork setting. So, yeah.
Nice.
And Darren actually shook his head at that one, nope, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Negative.
All right, speaking of Darren, what is Dr. Earthsprung? You are making your way through the crowd, right?
I am trying to part the crowd.
Okay.
So Adam's family, big stonking boots coming, crashing along.
You think intimidation?
Make way, get out of the way, waving his arms.
Okay. So because of your status, I'll actually decrease the. So we'll make that a DC 14 as well for intimidation.
Okay. Intimidation.
Oh, critical! You guys, between Basil, zipping through people, and Dr. Earthsprung's thing, you guys have made your way through the crowd completely. Let's see what your next choice is here. Well done, guys. That's awesome. Back-to-back crits Oh boy, so there is... Oh, what am I looking at them for? Whew. So then your next choice is going to be either scrambling over a wall that sort of separates from you and the next sort of shortcut to get through, or to make your way through an alley that is teeming with rats. So the rat swarm, and let me put those down here for you. There's a total of 3 too. If you're curious for how long it's going to take to get through all these 3, what do you call it? Not barriers, but 3 obstacles before you reach.
Obstacles.
Yeah. And let's see here. All right, so there's what your options are for next round, guys. I'm ticking the departure time at the Paridar train station. You hear whistles blowing. All aboard! Next round, guys. Golag, you are making your way through the market.
Yeah, I'm going to continue with the same tact.
Same tact, okay. So go ahead and give yourself a DC 14.
There we go.
Nice,
good.
Almost success. So yeah, you're continuing on, racing across this open market. You're making very good time, but you're realizing a direct route may have been faster here. Ms. Dumer, Daphne has you in a death grip of love. What are you doing?
Darling, I really have to rush. I've got... I'll tell you later. It's quite scandalous, but I will tell you later.
Scandalous.
You must let me go.
Oh, she holds your hand almost so it's a little painful. She wants to know so badly. Why don't you give us a diplomacy check and we'll apply this against the penalty plus whatever. There you go. All right. You are free from her and starting to make your way through the construction site. So you've got no progress through the construction site yet, but you freed yourself of the death grip of of your best friend. Basil, there is the rat swarm and there is the wall. What are you thinking? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm always doing this. It's just
That's
a bad
okay.
habit. I don't think there is really the wall. There is only the option of the red swarm. I mean,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I could try to intimidate them, but this would be... I think I would more try to sneak through with stealth, maybe, or...
Okay, so that's a great... what it'll be just a harder difficulty number, but you can absolutely make use of that.
Yeah, I mean,
let's see here, so it'll be 16. Let's make it... it'll be 18. A DC 18
Okay.
for this.
Yeah. It would actually mechanically be more better to do intimidation, but I will do stealth anyway.
Okay,
It's
love
just-
it. So everyone gets a hero point too. Nat 20! Look at that.
Ooh. Nice.
So very carefully, Basil is just it's as if he's one of them.
Yeah. Why? Just
So yeah, and you are easily making your way around. You can hear the wheel or the squeal of the train station. It's not so far ahead now. Dr. Earthsprung, you see this wall before you, and there's.
I like to think that Basil's probably done quite well as well, because I'm coming the same route and I'm going like a ball in a china shop. So everything's sort of moving out. So I'm making space for him. Whether it's to work for me, I don't know. But I'm trying to intimidate my way through and just
ahead.
make it loud. And...
That one will be DC 14 as well.
okay.
Nice. So you are nearly through. You got 3 through the rat swarm. You guys are nearly through that way. I will get rid of the wall because I don't need that. And I'll get rid of the crowd because you are not there anymore. Guys, clock ticks down once again. Golag.
Golag still, it's working. He just hopes it keeps working.
Okay.
And stand aside. Here we go.
Oh,
He's on.
so close.
So close.
One off. Are you missing any modifiers for that? Because you're one off from a critical success.
I don't. I'm not sure where it would come from. Let's see if I. Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, you are nearly on the far side of this.
Yeah.
Then it is Ms. Dumer.
Trying again. Talking my way through.
Okay. Oh, dang. Wait, Sally, I have one more thing to tell you.
Yes, sir.
You pause for a moment, and I think it's because you're getting the attention of the construction workers, and it's also you and Daphne. Daphne is, as the construction workers may say, easy on the eyes. So between your exotic looks and her, beauty, there is a very... They're not quite ready to listen to you and are just sort of clumping up and preventing you from getting through. Basil, you guys are nearly through on this side. What would you like to do? There is a torrent of rats that are roaring up from the alleyway behind you as Dr. Ursprung is stomping his way along.
Yeah, but I think going to the station and maybe trying to spot this woman. That's...
Okay.
The idea.
So are you stealth again, or intimidate, or fortitude?
So so there is another obstacle, or just
same thing. You guys have to collectively get four successes in order to get through that, because you guys are working together on it. You guys have 3 so far. You need 1 more.
Also, I thought we had 4 because of 2 crits, but nevertheless.
No,
okay,
you got 2, and then Dr. Ursprung only got 1. He didn't get us, critical.
Okay, okay. Okay, I could do stealth again, maybe.
Okay. So again, I think it's an 18.
Okay, why not? Yeah, so let's try to reroll that.
Okay, because that would be a critical fail.
No.
He's actually sending the rats back towards Dr. Ursprung. Oh, no, God!
Yeah, he just makes them so excited that they will notice me. Yeah, no, it's just a failure.
Just a failure, so this means you're not... So I think that what happens is that because Dr. Ursprung is herding all of these things down, it's made it impossible for you to find a spot to, continue sneaking forward. Dr. Ursprung definitely has a number of advantages. Being inconspicuous is really not one of them.
Yeah.
Dr. Ursprung, what would you like to try?
I'm going to power my way through with intimidation once again.
Okay.
It worked last time, so there's no reason to change it.
Here we go.
Well, that's his theory. That's not a solid theory.
You want to spend a hero point reroll?
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
Going for cuddly now, eh?
Jeez. Failure. So these things are scrambling up you right now, and you're sort of like, hey, what? Nope. So much of your time is spent kicking these rats off of your legs rather than making progress. You guys are not quite through the rat swarm yet. Then we're at the end of the round. Clock turns. Last call. Golag. What are you doing?
He might even be able to see an outline, of the quarry, or the location, no, it's right there,
Come
smoking,
on.
Whatever.
Yeah.
He continues along, out of my way, like there's some cart. He's like, dear heavens. Oh, it's going to spend. Here we go.
Yep,
Spending
hero point.
a hero point. Oh,
God damn it.
So close.
Someone, you run into an area where, they're unloading a bunch of fresh fruits from somewhere, and you're just like, move these things, damn you. God dang. Ms. Dumer, what would you like to do?
Go for tea.
Go for tea.
I will have another go at talking my way around these workmen.
Gentlemen, I do not have time for this.
Gentlemen, it is time I leave.
Okay. Oh, but wait, Miss Dumer, you're the fish lady. Hey, look at this. Gregory, there's a fish lady here. Come here.
And with a hero point.
Okay. Hey, there you go.
You got one.
Halfway through, you tweet kind of like up from one platform to another one. You're beginning to make your way through. They're like, oh, after you, lady. Not questioning why you're racing your way through the construction zone. Basil, you are up next.
Yeah. I'm frustrated that I can't go through, but I just keep on trying. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah, what's...
The difficulty class is lower for those other skills if that changes your mind whatsoever.
Yeah, but no, I would. No, I think maybe so. These are, in a way, I'm also red folk, but smaller ones. So
Yep.
I mean, just by size, I should intimidate them, I suppose.
Okay.
So let's go for this route then.
Let's see how this screeching squeak. That is a success. You guys are through the rat swarm. Basil steps out of the shadows, Dr. Earthsprung, where you did not see him, and he squeaks like the loudest rat you've heard. All of them go scattering to the side, which reveals your last choice, guys. Let's give this a shuffle and see what your two options are. Once you're past this barrier, god damn it, another wall. Oh, and twisting alleyways. So, there is a towering wall to get past, and on the other side of that is the train station. Athletics or perception. And there's twisting alleyways, which is sort of making your way through. This one will be either perception or society to recall the details. If anyone has like lore about Paridar, that would also apply, or anything that you could squirrel to fit that. So that is your last option, the last obstacle between you and the train station, guys. And at the end, then it's Dr. Earthsprung's turn.
Yeah, seeing these twisting alleyways, well, rightly or wrongly, I'm assuming these are sort of the lower class sort of.
I would only need that sort to navigate those, most definitely.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and pull on my society of visiting these places on numerous occasions.
Absolutely.
To try and get me through.
That'll be a DC 13.
Okay.
Nice. 1, so you're almost through the trains, the
and
alleyway.
I'll be gesturing to Basil to follow me. It's this way, and sort of trying to lead him through.
I suspect that Basil may have some advantages for that particular approach as well. All right, so then, you can hear the engines of the train starting to power up, getting ready to pull out of the station. Golag, this fruit cart is in your way. What are you doing?
Athletics right over the top of it.
Nice.
And he's glad that no one's around. I mean, no one that he thinks he knows is around to
Athletics
observe
DC
this.
13.
All right, then. Let's see here.
There
we go.
Almost a critical success. So you leap over this stuff and you are through the market. What is before you next is... I'll take the market out so it's not more market. It's the never-ending market.
Yeah.
Your next choice is a forked path or a cramped passage. There is a short kind of way to wedge yourself through, or there is a forked path. So very much like the twisting alleys, almost. So let us see here. Fortitude or... And the forked path is actually through a small park. So here's the options. The default one. All right. So that will be your next choice. Ms. Dumaire.
Okay.
You are so close to getting out of here.
More talking?
More talking?
That's more talking.
Okay. Yes, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, gentlemen. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That is a, I think 14 was your difficulty, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, so then you are nearly completely out. You have utterly and thoroughly charmed all of the workmen who are in here, but sadly have not freed yourself of this workplace. Had Daphne not held you back, you would have been through here by now. Then Basil, Dr. Earthsprung is starting to make his way through those twisting alleyways.
Yeah. I will follow. Thing. I think I know my way quite well around here.
Okay.
Adam.
Nice. That was 13. Give me a good pitch for why this is part of your investigation.
Yeah, is if it is really this Gwendolyn fellow, I mean, she is the subject of my investigation. So I would say.
Absolutely, that is. I'll buy that. That bumps that up to a critical success. You 3 out of the 4 you need for twisting alleys. Dr. Earthsprung, what would you like to do?
I should see Basil going ahead, and I shall try and use a similar. We're sort of, as we're crisscrossing and running along, it's this.
Yeah.
And then pointing down this little alleyway, and we're trying to assist each other.
Exactly what you needed. You guys come racing out in time. This is the final thing. What you can see, you've arrived in time. You can picture, on this sort of busy train platform, you're racing around through here, and you can see the black dressed lady steps onto a train, and you know that this train is bound for the region, the sort of like county where Stoneburn Manor is located. So, first off, everybody gets a hero point back. We have, Golag still is 2 steps away. Sally is several steps away. What do you guys, Basil and Adam, or Dr. Earthsprung, forgive me. You didn't go to all those years of, Patchwork Man medical school to be called Mister.
Respect, please.
What are you guys planning on doing? You sort of look at each other. You can see your allies took a different route to get here, but they don't seem to have arrived yet. What are you guys thinking?
Get in there, pull the emergency brake.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get on the train. Yeah.
Okay. So you start racing up towards the train. Let's see here. We started at 11:30. Okay, so
we'll try and get on the end carriage. In a classic sort of Western.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's do this. So everyone gets your hero point for quarter after. Then why don't we take our mid-session break right now? We're a little bit late for it, but take our mid-session break, then we'll come back and see what happens next as Golag is trying to navigate his way towards the train station. And Ms. Dumer, if only you had some fast vehicle that could allow you to catch up to...
We should get one of those.
Yeah. You're not far away from it either. All right, so let's take a 5-minute break, guys. We'll be back, and we'll see what happens next.
So. Darren, I think our characters are not equipped to fight her, really. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know if it's a case of she's super powerful, or when we get to where she's going, we're in an even worse situation because there's going to be more of them. I don't know if we can take her on our own, or if we need to find out where she's going and then come back and regroup. But I guess we know where she's going.
yes, yeah.
The manor.
I think if we can just get her alone, that would be much easier, I suppose.
But I'm worried that she keeps disappearing and we haven't really got a way of detecting her.
Then at least we tried.
Oh yeah, but that was the only thing I wasn't sure how we get around that.
Yeah.
All right.
So I switched to my red mug. I actually have a red mug. There's a red on it.
Oh, nice! That's awesome. I am doing what lame YouTubers do everywhere, and using a branded mug. All right. So we have Ms. Dumer at three successes through the construction site. Golag about to make a decision for what he's going to do, and our heroes, the rest of our heroes, not implying that Golag or Sally aren't heroes, at the train station, about to talk their way onto a train or sneak their way onto a train without a ticket. Let's just wait a moment for James to get back. Everyone got their hero point from 115? Awesome. Awesome. All right. Yeah, I actually, even like navigating around, when I'm picturing what some of the streets and whatnot are of Paridar, like, I actually am thinking less London and more Edinburgh as well. So, okay. So we are good to go here. Then, let's do this. Let's see how Golag and Sally make their way through their respective challenges. And then we'll see what Basil and Dr. Earthsprung do to try and get on this train. So, Golag, a choice before you here. A cramped passage to try and squeeze your way through between two, like, there are very, much of the infrastructure in Paridar was done without the benefit of, city planners. So this is sort of like one of those things that's not really designed to be an alleyway, but it's super thin. Where two houses were built too close, or there is the way through the winding private garden. What are you thinking?
Orcs are not intrinsically all that fond of cramped places, and so he is not to mention better dressed ones. So he is going to avoid that, and he tears down the forked paths, hoping to keep his bearings about him.
Okay.
Ooh,
Look at that!
We go. There we go.
Two successes through the forked path. So yeah, you are thinking the time. There is an as yet untold story behind how Golag indulged in those orcish rituals to get his magics, but it certainly involved a little bit of time in the wild. So you are easily making your way through. Sally, can you finally shake your throng of fans?
I think we all know the answer to that.
Let's see here. Oh my god.
We still needed you to confirm it, though.
You do have, you get a hero point if you want to spend.
Daphne, shall we just go to the cafe?
You spend a hero point, or you want to sit on that?
I'll play a hero point.
Okay.
Be so popular.
Yeah. I think what's Daphne has actually joined you in the construction thing. Like, come down. These lovely men want to speak to you. Then, so Basil and Dr. Earthsprung, you're in the busy Paridar train station. People are coming and going, from all sorts of different locations. There's baggage porters racing by. What are you guys doing?
I was going to say, do you want to try and sneak on the back, and I'll try the more bullish sort of run down, and one of us will get on, hopefully.
Yeah. So, Kevin, you said that the train to, I don't know, Stonehenge Manor. No, what was it called?
Stoneburn is in one of the other communities. Let's see here. We had to give this community a name. Let's see here. We'll call it Dunsbridge.
Dunsbridge, okay. So the train that is leaving is a train for Dunsbridge, or this is another train?
It has a stopping. It stops off at the Dunsbridge station, which is closest to Stoneburn Manor.
Okay. So she maybe is in there. So yeah, I would say I'd sneak on the train, try as well.
Okay. So, what you will know, they don't check tickets when you get going. They check tickets once you get on. So you'll either have to pay for when you're, if they find you on there, or you can, make skill checks to try and avoid the being seen. She got on near sort of where the passenger car is, where one of the passenger cars are. And likely one of the first class kind of cars. Are you thinking first class, kind of the train equivalent of steerage, or are you trying to sneak on like at the baggage or the caboose?
No, I would say it's a second class or whatever, where workers would just enter the train.
Yeah, so you join the throng getting on, and everyone, you sit down, and you easily find a seat. And you can see that there's a conductor who's making his way down. Won't be properly making his way around to collect tickets or collect fare until this thing gets going. But that's going to be a problem going forward. Dr. Earthsprung, what are you doing?
Okay, I thought it actually started pulling away, so it hasn't actually sort of started.
It's about to, yeah. Like as soon as you get on, it's going to be. You guys are like the last ones on here getting onto the train.
And did you say she got on at first class?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to try and get on the second class or the carriage next to it. I don't know if there's only one of each.
It'll be like you'll be basically the same carriage that Basil is in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If that's the case, then yep.
All right, so you guys get on, and it is really only a matter of like a minute before, you hear the whoo, whoo, and the train starts pulling away from the station. You guys have a moment to sort of, exchange a knowing glance with each other, unless you want to sit together, in which case you could talk to each other and strategize what you plan to do once the conductor comes down to collect.
Well, are we going to try and stop the train? Is the main question, yeah.
Yes, I think I will point at the emergency brake and just make this look. Should we not?
I'm just gonna move over to it and give it the classic stumble sort of approach and sort of grab the thing and pull it down.
Why don't you give us a deception check, please? I think we'll set the let's see how credible this is. We'll set the DC at let's say 14. That's gonna be fairly easy. Nice. So stumble. It's not for the appearance that, or at least the first impression you make. It's not hard for people to believe that you stumbled over your own feet. Which may actually not be matching either. You stumble and hit this thing, and whoa, the whole train surges to a stop. You have bought your allies at least a little bit more time. So, Golag, you are making your way through this cart. You're only one more challenge after this before you reach the train station. What do you want to do? You're the fork path. You've got fortitude and survival as defaults, and you can also suggest anything else or make use of any special abilities.
I think he's just going to continue at this point, making his way with survival.
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, he's going to spend a point.
Okay. Here it comes.
Here it comes. Big money.
That is
money.
better. Okay, you're nearly through this garden. So you're racing along too, and you can hear.
And I think I'm like coming through a bush at this point. Like I'm just, dear
pushing.
heavens,
Come on, Joe.
by the spires.
Ms. Dumer, what would you like to do?
I will. I'm still in the yard, I take it.
You still are in the construction yard. Daphne
I'm
has
lost.
joined
I'm
you
going
in
round
there.
in circles.
Is imploring you to join her. And you, so what is the cool flourish and gesture as you leap over the wall to get away from this construction site?
Ta-ta, Daphne. I will catch up with you tomorrow. I promise. I will.
Okay. And in a single motion, you spring over the last of the construction walls to the sound of applause, thanks to the diplomacy check. Your next two challenges. Either a guard animal or elite thieves. So do you land in a yard with an animal in it? Or do you land in a yard or in an alleyway where like people are just picking up the, finishing mugging some poor unfortunate? I'll let you dwell on that for a moment. As we turn back to the train station. So Basil and Dr. Earthstrong, the train has surged to a stop yet, and you can see the conductor has now sort of got your attention. He says, he walks over. Let's see, I'm going to make a perception check. Let's see if he can figure out what's going on. I'm going, no, he's sort of, for this round at least, the conductor is sort of befuddled. Like, his little conductor cap has kind of gone forward on his head. He's kind of adjusting it. If you get in your mind kind of like a Wilford Brimley type, big mustache, a little, portly. So he fills up the kind of guy like who walks down the alleyway. He needs to turn back and forth to talk to people. And every time he does that, either one end or the other end ends up hitting people on the other side of the aisle. He is sort of getting himself ready to come back and collect fares from you. So you guys have at least one round to do something else. What would you guys like to do?
It's my understanding that the train won't leave if the doors are open. Do they do the whole checking down and making sure the doors are shut?
It's very unlikely that there is like an alarm system or something like that would prevent.
Oh no, not an alarm, but someone on the platform that sort of is looking for that sort of thing.
Maybe there's a chance that they might, but more likely what would happen is like the wind. They would hear the wind, as they're starting to pick up speed.
It.
Yeah.
Okay. And I assume there'd be another emergency stop in every carriage, wouldn't there?
There is, yeah. And in the ones that accommodate passengers, at least. To be honest, I don't know my ignorance of rail things. I don't know if there is in the cargo.
The baggage and stuff, yeah. I wouldn't have thought so, probably. I'm going to try and make my way into the first class, so if the vehicle starts moving again, I can sort of basically try the same stunt.
So this will be, I think you have to do either like a deception or a intimidate check to try and get past the conductor. Then, because like there are, folks who seem to fit or not fit.
Yeah. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him. I mean, I have got intimidating glare, but I won't use it to that extent. But I'll look at him and I say, the seats in here aren't big enough for some people, and I'm going to move, and I'll point to the first class and I'll start to make my way.
Okay.
And I'll try and sort of intimidate him.
So let's see. I'm going to set the DC at 18 only because there is one area of authority this guy has any control over, and that's who sits where and when.
Yeah.
So his limited domain is going to be, he adjusts his hat and he looks up at you and go ahead and give us a roll. Let's see how this goes over. Nice. So he looks at you, you say that to him, and he just sort of, you can see his little, like that big giant walrus looking mustache is just trembling, and he's trying to get himself out of your way, because the two of you are quite large. But between the two of you, and his little fare counter that he's got in front of him, you manage to sort of work it out, and he lets you go by. And then once you're past, only Basil would see this because you're not looking back. He comes to enough senses to realize he should have like doffed his hat or something. So he kind of like, and just holding it, trying to recover from the experience. Basil, what are you planning on doing?
Yeah, I think just for the effect, I will follow up and say what he says and follow him.
Okay, that sounds like deception to me. And I'll adjust the difficulty class down to, let's say, 17, as if he gave you a +1 to this.
Yeah, I mean, it's stupid that I say the seats are not big enough for me, but
yeah, it may get past. Okay.
Oh, that was.
You want to hear a point that sucker?
Deception. Yeah, I will just re-roll that. Yeah.
Here we go. He puts his hat on just to doff it off to you again. And you guys have made your way into first class now. Back to Golag. So Golag, you are almost through this, what do you call it? Garden?
Yeah, I mean, I've left the path, and just in frustration, I'm beating through a flower shrubbery.
Yeah.
Just taking names on this thing, and
you're close enough right now. Oh my God. I was gonna say you're close enough to probably see what your next thing is. There's either going to be one final towering wall that you're going to need to make your way over, or there are rickety rooftops that you will make your way across to get down into the train station. But that was on the expectation you might get a critical.
I just spent a point.
Nice.
So.
All right, so you are through. I'll put in what your options are here. Let's see here. That is either only 6 minutes until your next hero point. So commence the delay.
I'll get there just in time for to figure out another way to get to wherever the train's going.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so that's your next set of options there. Mm-hmm. Now, Ms. Dumer, are you landing before a guard animal or the muggers?
I'll go for the muggers.
The muggers, all right. Anna Banana has been mercifully quiet today, so she's not playing her role. So, as they land down, what you have is these are the things here. So here, muggers. The suggested ones are deception or thievery, or you could engage in combat with them. And you can feel free to, if you've got another idea of how to deal with these guys. So you've landed down. Let's say there's two of them, because there's two in my little illustration I got. What are you doing, Sally, to try and get past this obstacle?
Oh, I'm pretty annoyed at this point.
Yeah.
So, and I've got my new toy. So as they approach me,
okay,
it's time to give these very ungentlemanly gentlemen a good slapping.
Okay. So go ahead and let's see here. We'll set the difficulty for this at 18. But what I'll allow is that you make a regular attack, and then a hit is just going to count as one success. A critical will count as 2.
And I get a +1, right, with my
yes. Make sure you've got
gloves.
the +1 added as a +1 to hit.
Yep.
With this. Can you hear a point that sucker?
We will.
Okay.
I'll hero point that.
There you go. So, one of them is just like teeth have flown out from where your thing has hit. They stagger back. You are one of your way past these guys. Then, Basil and Dr. Earthsprung, what are you guys doing?
We're in the right carriage now. Can we see this woman anywhere?
You want to? It's a very low difficulty. You can take your action to seek. Try and spot her in there. Just give us a perception check.
The train hasn't started moving yet, has it?
Not again, no.
No. So, yeah, maybe we should... I'll say to Basil, maybe... Let's see if we can find her.
Okay. Who'd like to make the perception roll?
Is that I think you're probably better at that, are you?
Yeah, I think I could. I spot her and then point you to where she is, maybe.
Nice. So a success, not a critical. Oh no! Remember, she's just sitting down. Yeah, I think that's actually a critical. So I'll let you take another action in addition to seeking. Because I think it's probably only a DC flat 10. You can see there is a woman sitting about midway up the carriage on the right-hand side, on her own in a row, and veil still down, looking out the window. All you can see is that like she's facing away from you towards the front of the train.
Yeah, then I would use my action maybe to just point it out to Adam. Adam, here, there she is.
Okay, you need not make a roll, Adam. You can see, or Dr. Earthsprung, you can see precisely where she is. What would you like to do?
Well, I want to take a seat somewhere near, again, the emergency cord, but hopefully not in front of her.
Sure.
So that we can try and just keep an eye on her from a distance so she don't spot us immediately.
Let's just have this be a... give us a society roll at DC, let's say 14. This will be fairly easy. So you find not only a seat for yourself, you actually spot an advantageous seat for Basil. Where do you want to sit, Basil? Do you want to be right next to Dr. Earthsprung? You want to be in a different spot to sort of intercept?
No, I think it would be nice if we could sit close to each other. So.
Okay. So I think we see there's a really a ridiculous upper class old guy who's got himself set down and he's got his paper out, and he hears it, and he looks over the paper up to Dr. Earthsprung, down to Basil, and he says, Dr. Earthsprung just asks, "The seats taken?" And without saying a word, folds up his newspaper, takes his glasses off, puts them in the case, gets up, and vacates it. So the two of you have a prime seat for keeping track of this lady in black. Back to our Mr. Golag. You have your choice of clambering over this wall or trying to scramble across rooftops and then dropping down into the train station.
He comes bursting out of the rose bush, with flowers flying, blooms flying. Wonders where he went wrong with all of this, and because he doesn't like either of these choices. Yeah. But he decides the wall is at least it's just one time, where the roofs, I'm imagining falling. So he goes
I don't know whether you have anything, but like if you've got a spell or a magic item or something like that might, but that will give you automatically like 1 or 2 successes depending on what you're using. I'm not saying you necessarily have something, but if you want to make creative use of one of your abilities, you can certainly feel free to do that. I considered it earlier in that crowd, but I don't think I really have anything that would apply here. Okay.
So he's just going to go, he's going to pile ahead with an athletics check over this wall.
Over the wall. Okay, so DC there is a 14.
And he is muttering, "Orcs are not made for this." And he goes at this wall.
There you go. You're making your way up.
A little, not elegantly, but, just practically getting it done.
Yep.
And I want to say a button probably pops off his vest as he, does the kind of chest navigation over this thing.
God damn, those are monogrammed.
Seriously.
Yep. Okay, then Sally, you have left one of these would-be muggers bloodied.
All right, let's...
And you know what I'll let you do, Sally? Because of your flurry of blows ability, why don't you give us 2 attacks?
Yep. Let's...
Holy shit. All right, so first one is going to generate you 2. One of the 2 attackers is knocked clean out by your follow-up. Again, those new gauntlets of yours just knock this person almost fully over. Why don't you give us your second attack? And what does it look like as you drop that last guy?
Solid one to the side of the head and said, I really, really am having a bad day.
The person who's being mugged is just sort of like looking at you stunned. You bend down, pick up her purse, hand it to her, and then your next, or your final choice of obstacles here will be, let's see here, either, oh, here we go, 2. Rat swarm or twisting alleyways. So there is 2, because you're sort of in the back alleys where people are being mugged or whatnot, it makes sense that there are 2 ways. One of them is sort of like a canal road that leads into, or canal little alleyway that leads in. That's full of rats. So here we go. Rat swarm is intimidation or fortitude. And twisting alleyways is perception or society. And again, if you've got other abilities you think that might work differently or better, you feel free to suggest that.
I'll try that. I'll go down the alleyways and
No,
use
okay.
Paridar law.
Okay, so I'll get rid of the rat swarm here. Then, back on the train. The train is still not setting up. What I've done, guys, is I've reset the counter on this back because of your delays. So unless you guys do anything, there is nothing else that happens. Do you wish Basil or Dr. Earthsprung to do anything?
Just wanted to have a look out the window to see if I can see our colleagues, just so that when we see them, I can open the door, so that's all I'm keeping an eye on, basically.
Okay, so you're keeping an eye out for where your allies are. No sign of them yet in the crowd. Basil, anything you wish to do?
Yeah, is there perchance did the guy before us leave parts of the newspaper behind, so I could hide behind a sheet
sure.
of newspaper?
Maybe as he's leaving, let's do this. Why don't you give us a thievery check?
Oh yeah. I actually get no penalty if I try to steal something that he closely guards.
Nice, yeah.
Or has in his hand.
That's awesome.
So let's see.
And I think DC once again will be 14, will be easy. I'll say 13.
Yeah, so that's
this.
Yeah, well, I will re-roll that.
Okay.
Maybe that's just maybe I will.
And that reminds us, you guys all get a hero point as well. Nice, there you go. Jeff and Dave have threatened to start bringing egg timers that they'll set to half an hour each time because they know that it's coming every half hour. So this man gets up, he puts it like firmly underneath his shoulder or his hand as he's walking away. And Basil, you're just hold on to it and let him walk away. So now you have this thing, and I'll actually give you, if you do need to make a stealth or something like that check at some point, you'll be able to use this to try and disguise yourself. All right. You can hear that there is a bit of talking amongst the conductors. It does appear that the train is almost ready to leave the station once again, guys. So then we're back to Golag, making his way up the tree, one button fewer than before.
And he's he's making his way, but he's not quite over the wall, right?
You saw it, yeah. It's you sort of get to one point, you look up. It's so much more to go than what than it looked like, and you can picture there's like probably hanging ivy that you're sort of clambering up to get over this stuff. Ooh.
He's going to spend a point.
Okay. I mean, it's not a crit fail, so you don't fall.
Yeah.
But there you go, another one up. Oh, you're about halfway up this wall right now. Whew. Okay. Jeez, maybe getting some exercise by opening those crates may not have been a bad idea necessarily. All right, and Ms. Dumer, you have the twisting alleyways before you. The default ones are society, which is a fairly easy roll, or perception to try and find a shortcut, which is a little trickier, or I'll take pitches.
Paridar law?
Paridar lore, most definitely. Same thing, DC 13. Bang on, you're making your way through. All right. Back at the what do you call it? The train. All aboard! Once again, we're very near to taking off once again. Basil or Dr. Earthsprung, any actions you guys wish to take? Still
think
no
hold
sign of
on
your
until the
allies.
train starts. So if the train starts
Seems
again.
like maybe one more round.
Yeah, so just be prepared to pull that emergency cord again and duck away so that we don't get spotted. That'd
Okay.
be. I'm trying to work out a way to hide behind Basil's newspaper or behind the chairs in
Hold it
front.
up.
If we who done that? Who done that?
Yeah. yeah.
So,
I hand you the sports part where you can hide behind.
Yeah. Jeez. I love the visual of this great big guy with the newspaper and a little guy with the newspaper who are constantly kind of poking their eyes over, keeping an eye out for their allies or the lady in black.
oh no, we'll cut a little couple of eyes in the middle so we can look for it.
Perfect. All right, then Golag, you are halfway up this, or halfway to the bottom, depending on how you want to look at this.
Golag momentarily wonders if he shouldn't run back and get a carriage or a cab, but then continues on soldiering without
Come
hero
on.
points.
Let's see
So
that
here we
crit.
go. Respectable.
We're so close to a crit as well, too. You are almost at the top of this. You're at the cusp of getting over, and you can hear the wheel or squeal of more trains. And for some reason, it's only the one train that you can actually hear whining with the whistle. It's the one that
He
matters.
is grunting heavily, too. It's getting embarrassing.
Ms. Dumer, you are winding your way through these alleyways just outside of the train station.
Yep. I need to again.
Again, yeah, it's
More Paridar. Okay.
Yep, no, you're right. Critical success.
I know my way around
Outstanding.
here. I've been here before.
You are all likewise one success away from this, and this is where the train. You can hear the engine starting to start up again. Basil and Dr. Earthsprung. It's about to start moving once again. So if it does get moving again, it's getting close to the point where it's going to pull away from. It'll be away from the station into one of the tunnels, through Paridar before it gets to the wider area. Then Golag and Sally either A, won't know what train that they're looking for, or B, may have to make their way down a tunnel in order to get there. Do you guys wish to do anything this round?
I'm just holding an action to basically pull the cord
Okay.
as soon as it starts moving, preferably as soon as it starts moving to cause the most disturbance and
So let's do that.
inconvenience.
We'll do that as we're transitioning from this round to the next one. But Basil, do you have anything you wish to do?
Yeah, I would just try to make a plan to get maybe a bonus where I could just, I don't know, like in these movies where they spot there's an umbrella there and I could use it to maybe block someone or something like that. Maybe I could.
So let's treat this this way. Let's have yours be an aid another. So it's a flat DC 20. What do you think you're doing to do that? Is it like a sleight of hand kind of thing with thievery? Is it a distraction with deception?
I think it might be actually some kind of no more like perceiving that there are some objects, but maybe I can use thievery. That's okay for me. Yeah,
Okay.
sleight of hand. Yeah. That's okay.
I mean, here's what perception might be: is timing it. You're trying to make sure that the conductor is looking elsewhere when Adam pulls or Dr. Earthsprung pulls the thing. So I buy that. So go ahead, a flat DC 20.
No.
Spend it.
No. So I clicked twice. Sorry.
There we go. Okay, 20. All right. So that means, Dr. Earthsprung, you're getting a +1 to your roll. So, and I think that is going to be, you're not falling forward once again. This is really just a matter of kind of getting up there and making sure no one sees. So I think it's going to be thievery. That's sort of a sleight of hand thing, but you will get +1 to the result.
He's going to need it as well, I think. Okay. Oof. He's going to try and make that more convincing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, a 20. Okay. So once again, as the thing just begins to move forward, it hits again.
And I'm going to try and do it really sort of quickly and sit back down and, be looking around like everybody else. What's going on?
What's going on? Who said that?
Yeah.
You're an asshole. Hey, who said that?
Yeah.
All right, so and you're completely successful, and no one has any idea of what has transpired. I am counting down the dice I was using to tick down the rounds. I've gone down by 1 dice now. So that you'll have, this will be less time between now and when they get moving once again. But it does reset the countdown. So I think Golag and Sally, you hear the screech of those, like the brakes on trains. Once again, it's weird that you've heard those twice within the last 2 minutes. Golag, you're looking up. Oh, this is it. You can hear the train yard just on the other side of this wall.
I proceed on soldiering,
Okay.
and let's see here. Oh,
Nat 1! Oh my god! Do you have any hero points left?
I do not.
Oh no!
You know, it's perfect. I mean,
You're like, all right, I'll have to go. You put your foot up, and this patch of ivy is not designed to support orcish weight, so you could have, and then catch yourself at the halfway point. So you do not fall down, but fortunately the train has been delayed a little further. Ms. Dumer, you can hear the train. It's just a matter of guessing or remembering what the right alleyway is to get through to this.
Okay, so another Paridar.
Critical success. So I think what I'll give you the extra success for is, as this comes running out, while Basil and Adam are fake kind of looking around, you see that Sally comes racing out, and very, very close to where this train is. You can see she has come running out from wherever she was. And I think you could easily try and get her attention. How do you think you do that?
I'm just going to put my arm out the window, and
Yep.
there ain't no arm that looks like that. It's like...
So, Ms. Duber, you see that in the looks like the first class car. You can see Dr. Ersprung and Basil are both sitting there with enormous newspapers in front of them.
And I think, what are they doing in first class?
Good question.
Yeah. All right. So that will tick down the timer. And we're back to Golag. So Golag, you're hanging halfway up this wall right now. Oh, sorry. I skipped.
Can I
go ahead.
I hear Golag's curses?
If you spent it a round to seek and try and get a sense of like, well, where the hell's Golag? I'll let you make a perception check to try and. He does have a very distinctive way of cursing. Yeah, you can hear there's a fairly high wall near where you came over, maybe even adjacent to it, and you can hear the curses. The way he talks to it is the way he sort of like, it's as if he's reprimanding Sylvan with his, you damned things! Be more cooperative, Ivy. Who maintains their Ivy in this way?
I might even bellow with Sylvan in there too. Sylvan, why not? Just.
So what I'll let you do, Sally, is if you choose to not board the train for this round, if you want to try and help Golag out, you'll contribute to his successes.
Yeah, can I do something with acrobatics? To get up that wall and on the top to pull him up?
What I'll do is the acrobatics will just be a little bit higher of a DC. So okay. I think he's been rolling against a DC of 13 for his. I'll say it's going to be 15 for acrobatics for you to contribute a success. So let's start with Golag. Why don't you give us what are you planning on doing here? Another survival? Or another
Golag,
athletics?
I'm finally going to, try something different or, slightly different, because now that he's like hanging there, this is so embarrassing. So he's going to try... He's going to try casting the cantrip Mage Hand. So just to give himself like a slight, it can't hold him, but he's just going to try to like, how about, against his like rear, just doing that like, like a small person, like trying to.
I think Mage Hand has a cap of like 5 pounds though.
Yeah, it's a bulk of 1 or less. So it's more desperation than it's not going to pull him up. It's just a matter of desperation.
Let's do this. Let's see. Why don't you give us, I'm going to set the difficulty fairly high for this. Because it's an unconventional approach. Let's say DC 19, but I'll let you roll occultism.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. No, it was ill. I don't have any points. It was ill-featured.
Yeah, you can feel the shadowy hand underneath you gives way underneath your weight, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Gosh. But Ms. Dumer, why don't you give us a athletics check or acrobatics check at DC 15? Okay. You see Sally her head pokes over the top, looks down, and what do you say?
You hanging around here again? Yeah, pull your finger out. Come on.
He's sweating and he's, buttons are popped off his vest. It's just
Looking rather less svelte, I see.
If you're done chattering up there, Ms. Dumire, I can use a hand.
I reach down and grab him by the collar.
Okay, so now you only need one more success in order to get past that wall. Back on the train, guys, the conductors are now sort of exchanging information, talking where Wilford Brimley was in the back one. This is more of a, I can't remember what the actor's name is. The guy who played Sherlock Holmes for years, Jeremy something or other. Really tall, willowy, guy, very severe, facial expressions. He's talking to the other one, trying to figure out what's going on, what tomfoolery is.
I think I go over with the newspaper and describe the person who had the newspaper first and said, I saw him pulling the...
Okay. So what I'll say is, let's make this a DC... well, once again, this is sort of their job. Let's say DC 18 Deception. If you succeed, I'll point the counter back, or I won't click the counter forward this time. It'll delay them once again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Oh.
You want to hero point that sucker?
Yeah, I think I have to. That would be... Otherwise they throw me off the train or something. It would be ill-advised.
Nice. So they both look at each other, and then they both the tall, thinner-looking guy sort of adjusts his conductor's cap and goes over to have a stern word with this gentleman who thinks it's funny to play with the trains. So you can see, sir, if we might have a word. And the guy looks up, when we see from his perspective, he's looking around on his seat, trying to find his where did I put my newspaper? And then the guy puts his hand on him, he looks up, what? And Dr. Ersprung, do you have anything you wish to do?
I'm just concealing my laughter, so I'm just.
You can see Sally has in her own inimicable way has sort of like alighted atop a wall and is reaching over the other side. One kid kind of is walking by with his mom is like, mommy, and pointing up where she is, and she's like, stop pointing, and kind of carries on. So we're not ticking forward. We've delayed it for one more round. Golag. Ms. Dumire is reaching her hand down towards you. All you need is one paltry success.
I make a desperate lurch for that hand of the ocean.
Okay. Oh, now what?
Is it possible I pull Ms. Dumire down with me?
No, it means that you put your foot down, you try and secure yourself, and you hurl your weight up, which rips the ivy away, and you're a quarter of the way down now. So
can I grab him?
You absolutely can. You can try and either direct him or try and pull him up. He's down to one success out of. All right, so you guys have two.
Okay.
You're like, put your foot there, and she's pointing to try and help you up. You're now once again halfway up this thing, but nearly fell the entire way.
His spirit is breaking, but he's holding fast.
Yeah. Truly the most formidable. You had less trouble with the shadow arriving in your, and those arrow hunts than this one damned, wall.
And little did I know this morning that I'd end up crouching on a wall, holding onto a sweaty orc in a waistcoat.
So
Popping
Basil
waistcoat.
and Adam, this guy seems to be occupied with them, so you did delay them a little bit. Anything you guys wish to do to try and delay further?
I'm out of ideas, literally.
Okay. Dr. Earthsprung, anything you wish to do?
I think we just got to sit tight now, and like I say, I'll just leave my hand sort of just out of the window on the side so they can identify it as quick as possible.
Okay.
Where to join us.
Sounds
if they
good.
ever join us.
So back, we'll tick it down by one more. The engine is once again starting to start up a little more aggressively. Golag.
Gonna try to get his act together.
Yeah.
He does he so he has Ms. Demour's hand, is that right?
No, you're you tried to throw yourself up to get up there.
Yeah,
You
I didn't get it
lost
all right.
two of the successes. No, sorry, you lost one of the successes. Critical failure only takes one away, doesn't take two away. I keep fucking that up. So you are only one away now. You fell a little bit, but you just need one more success to get her hand, and you will be over the wall.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, there it is.
Hey,
Oh.
there we go.
So you guys can see that Ms. Dumer has pulled Golag over the wall. You guys come down. That little kid is once again, Mommy, 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 and she's completely ignoring him. As you come over the wall, Golag, adjusting your coat, you realize you're missing one button.
I mean, I really think I'm laying there for a moment. Like I kind of, flop onto the ground, like unbelievable, like, taking inventory and reaching for, Ms. Demir to help him up and just, looking just all together, almost drunk in his frustrated exasperation.
And you guys can see there's the distinctive hand of Dr. Earthsprung hanging out the window of the car. Ms. Dumer, do you wish to do anything?
I lean over and look into Golag's eyes as he stares up from the lawn, and it's like, is it time to go now? And I grab him up.
What in the hell are we doing here again? Remind me as he gets to his feet.
So then,
I have the faintest idea, but the others have got very comfortable seats.
so to get
Oh,
yourself,
the train, of course, the train.
yeah, so to get yourself onto a train that has already sealed all the doors and will be departing, and we're down to the last round right now. Dr. Earthsprung and Basil, you would see that your allies are there. So if you want to take an action before I take it over to the last round, they're going to need to. You're aware of this too. Like the doors are closed right now, so they would need to get onto the train, whether that's by deception or by just like leaping on, or what do you guys? Anything you guys wish to do to try and make things easier for them to get onto this train that has technically already departed the station?
Maybe just hover over and open the door.
Yeah, you're small enough, hopefully.
So head over, and I think, I'm trying to decide if there's a lock on the door. Let's have a flat check. I think there's a 50-50 chance of there actually being a lock on it, because I really don't know whether...
Yeah.
Victorian trains had locks on them to prevent people from getting out while the train's in motion. So give us it's a flat, an 11 or higher is what you need. And there's no lock on it.
No,
That's fine, but you got your, I'm assuming, Basil, you are trained in thievery, right?
Yes.
So your waistcoat opens up, your thieves' tools come out.
Can I try and distract the conductors a little bit while he's doing his thievery?
I think that because it's sort of in the entrance is is technically outside of it, the actual room itself. You're easily able to do that. But you could try and delay the conductors once again to delay the departure.
No, I was just going to literally just say to him, is this train actually leaving? What's going on? And just try and at least have him looking at me while he's over there opening the door, so they don't notice the door opening. And
you could do that to try and assist your allies in sneaking onto the train.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's that's just actually diplomacy, probably, because you're just trying to be friendly. It's a flat DC 20.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, I think we'll try that again.
Sir, will be okay. Yeah, hold on. You could roll again before you get your consequences. Oh, so close. So he, you get up and you say to them, and the conductor turns around. He's not as tall as you, but he is quite tall for a man. He seems to be more used to dealing with people of station. So even you can see briefly as he turns and sees you, his eyes get a little bit bigger for a second, just because of you have quite a startling first impression. he says, so if you have a seat, we will be departing shortly.
Okay, just a little bit of a huff, and I'll just sit back down.
Okay. And the thing creaks underneath you. We are in our last round before things depart. So Sally and Golag, how are you planning on getting on this train?
So how far away?
I'm sorry, did I open the door?
Yes, you did.
16?
Yeah, sorry, that 16 was certainly... This is not a very complex lock. This is really just like the simplest of things. Pops and the door is open. So you guys have a way of entering the first class car. First class car.
And do we think we can make it just with speed?
Basically, like, I'm just gonna, if you want to try just like running and leaping onto it, if you're successful, then you'll get on before people notice you. You could try and use stealth for it. Really, like, whatever you feel is your mechanically strongest way of doing it, you can probably justify it in fiction.
Golag briefly.
I mean, your athletics has been so great so far, so that's definitely a good choice.
Golag briefly considers attacking the train, but realizes that's probably a bad choice. And also, is while he's thinking of bad choices, looks at Ms. Dumire to see what she's up to.
Yeah, you guys don't have to go in order here. If one of you wants to go first, you can feel free to.
Ms. Dumire, if you have some brilliant idea, don't let me hold you back.
So it's the need to sneak in, or just to get in by all means possible?
Whichever way you want. I'm gonna. If you're choosing to sneak in, that is just trying to avoid taking notice for it. Really, whatever skill you choose to make use of, as long as you can give me a narrative description of why that's a challenging thing you're attempting to get on the train, I'm fine with you using whatever skill you like. It could be diplomacy to talk your way out of the train. It could be, arcana to, I don't know, like cause some kind of magical distraction to get on the train.
And for the purposes of spells, Kevin, what's the distance would you say that we are from the train?
You guys are probably like 60 or 70 feet away. So like most of your round would be probably moving to get onto there.
Okay.
Well, then, while the guard is busy
don't let
looking
that,
up and down and whistling.
Oh, just one second, James. Just don't let that restrict what spell you want to use, though, Sean. Don't feel like you need to use a one-action casting for it. I'm open for whatever things you want to approach. Sorry, James, you were saying?
No. Well, then if the station master's off about to flag his way past, I will nip round behind him, tap him on the shoulder so he looks the wrong way, and then zoom off into the carriage.
Okay.
That's the theory, anyway.
Okay, and what are you thinking? That's stealth?
Stealth.
Okay. You're on the train.
Or maybe I will do a hero.
Oh, you want to try and go for a crit? With a crit, you'll get both you and Golag on.
Then that's what we'll go for.
Okay. Here we go. 21, so close. So yeah, you do tap on the one shoulder, and the guy who's like checking tickets kind of looks around, spins around. Sally, you're able to join Basil at that entrance. Golag, it's down to you.
At this point, Golag could care less who sees Golag get on the train. He is just...
You want to hear some good news first, Golag?
I would.
It is 2:15 my time. Another hero point. Everyone gets a hero point. So what do you wish to do?
Golag at this point is just daring a member of the staff to try to keep him off that train, so he has someone to take his irritation out on.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, he's going to just sprint for it. There's really nothing for it.
Okay.
And
so athletics then. Look at that.
Not
and
bad.
he is on the train as well too. Wow, you pull him on. All of our heroes are now on the train. Everyone always sleeps with their weapons, right? So you guys have that stuff on the... Oh no. I guess Sally is like ready to go.
Yeah. Oh.
Next.
Yeah. So
I've got me torch.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna cauterize the shit out of you. Then with the three of you guys on the train, the next challenge will be once this thing gets into motion, which is actually right now at the end of the round. Basil, you have one last thing you could do if you want. Actually, and as can Dr. Ursprung.
I would just point the other ones, so Sally and Golag. So she's sitting over there. We can challenge her now.
Okay, so you guys can see that there is where he pointed. It's the woman that Golag you saw in the alleyway.
I mean, I think realistically, Golag's got his back against the door, and he's just like taking inventory. He's like got a hand through some rumpled orcish, like pompadour, whatever, and
His
like
hair's all
coat's-
wild. There's bits of ivy in it.
and he's just taking a moment, realizing he's on the train. Like, okay, and he's keeping an eye out for Ms. Demure. If like, if we're about to get it, if there's something wild about to happen, he's going to be relying on Ms. Demure to let him know. He's keeping an eye on her. Like if we're about to get attacked or yelled at or whatever. In the meantime, he's just, and he's like, checking for whatever. He's just like, okay, I'm.
Okay. What about Ms. Dumare?
I will just.
That dog that you didn't go into its yard. It seems very cross right now.
No, I will have a look at my gauntlet, get it ready.
Okay.
But,
You
I'm
both
just
these.
sort of gathering breath. Even for me, that was enough exercise.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what you promised Daphne, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
It's shocking, though. It's shocking.
Then Dr. Ursprung and Basil, what do you guys do with your final round before the train starts in motion?
I'm thinking there's going to be confrontation quite soon, so I'm going to get that mechanical torch out
Okay.
in preparation, but I'm not going to obviously do anything with it and just be looking over for when the guys are going to move towards this figure.
Okay. And Basil?
Yeah, I think I just pointed them to the woman, so I think that's maybe all I would do now at this moment, and then wait for when we start confronting her.
Okay.
Maybe.
Golag says finally to Ms. Demure, what should we be doing right now, Ms. Demure? As you can tell, he's just finally getting he's really uselessly trying to get his hair back down.
And you guys can feel the train lurches and begins its actual motion right now. And there are conductors standing in the two carriages, a working class carriage and the first class carriage, that are like looking up and down to make sure no one pulls the thing again. It will be very challenging to do that once again. And the lights on the inside have kind of flickered to life as it enters into the tunnel, and you guys begin traveling down the entire train, encompassed in the blackness of a tunnel, apart from the illumination. You guys make your way into the first class car. What do you guys wish to do?
Well, I would say I guess Golag will in prep, kind of clicking his mind, finally settling down to task. He is going to start by casting mage armor on himself.
Okay. So you gesture, and that's great. What do you think your mage armor looks like?
That is a good question. I think it is probably if this seems appropriate, it's going to kind of blur him a little bit on the edges, so he's kind of hard to make out.
Yeah,
a little bit, just a little bit.
Okay, so there's a flicker of that. Ms. Dumare and Basil, are anything you guys wish to do? Dr. Ursprung is in his seat right now.
Okay. Yeah. So if you want to do so, I do something first. Maybe I would.
We don't need to stick in round per round here, guys. Like you guys can feel free to work our way more casually through the narrative. What are you guys intending on doing next year? You are in a separate little area from the main area, so you can talk without the conductors having an eye on you.
So are we going to just wait till follow, or are we going to confront though?
No, I think we should just talk to her right now, maybe. When she's not having all her minions with her.
Probably when the train's in motion, so she can't get away so easily, I would have said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Basil, are you going to have a chat with them?
Yeah, I think if Golak is not up to the task, I think we should.
Yeah, Golag looks at Basil and
Okay.
like he's doing something useful. He's like,
Yeah, I think then I will go over and just be sure that the other ones follow me or stay where they are close enough, and then try. Is there a seat next to her?
Yes, there's no one is sitting next to the lady in black.
So I would just maybe say Miss Fossa, or what was Follow, Miss Fellow. Excuse me, and I would just sit down next to her.
Okay. The woman turns and let's see here. Behind the veil, whatever reaction she may have, it's inscrutable to you for how she reacts. But you sit down and you say, Miss Fallow, you cannot see. There is a gauziness and then there's a design over this veil, so you really can't see who is behind there. Hands are still now sitting on top of the stole and have black lace gloves on them. She looks down at you and then looks up to see Ms. Dumer and Golag sitting. There are seats across from her. This is that type of train that has like one facing one way, one facing the other way.
I think we have not finished our conversation yet.
She pulls the veil back, and it is one of the women from the seance, but it is not Miss Fallow. And she says, with a smirk and definitely with a cocky tone, "I'm sorry, sir, do I know you?"
Oh. Do I know her? I mean,
you recognize her as one of the women who was part of the seance. Remember, there were a number of women who accompanied Thorngrove. It is not Miss Fallows, and it is not. I don't know if you know the names of any of the other women yet.
Yeah, there was a Cassandra, a Beatrice. We knew about them, but maybe no one else.
Yeah. So. And I think with her smirk and the sparkle of her, the red stone choker at her throat, and her very almost black brown eyes looking at you, that is where we'll bring our session to a close. Mm-hmm. So, Chapter 6 will be in 2 weeks' time. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for Part 5 of the Endless Odyssey in our Spires of Paridar campaign. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and we'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. In addition, you can find a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where all of us are active. We have a channel dedicated to this game, this campaign. I believe there's one for this campaign, and every other game we run on the channel, as well as a bunch of other great channels, including some great advice for selecting between and setting up virtual tabletops. Great. Sean is our resident, what would the word be? Not timekeeper, but Sean does a terrific job of keeping everyone up to date on upcoming conventions. So there's a great convention chat channel that I'll let you know what conventions are coming up, both online and in person. There's also a ton of other great people over there. It's a great community that has built up, and you are more than welcome to join us over there. In addition, there is a number of other links down below. One of them is to to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is a terrific retailer of new and out-of-print games from the U.S. Noble Knight has been my source of for filling a number of collections for out-of-print games for myself, and we are very thrilled to be able to share a discount code that they have generously shared with us to offer to you. If you make any purchase of $10 or more through the Noble Knight website, at checkout, enter the code DungeonMuser, and you will save yourself 10% on the purchase, and that's on top of whatever sale discount or whatnot they may be having as well. Noble Knight has also a great want list thing that I've used to fill a number of holes in collections or keep on top of games that I want to restock for our player base on the channel as well. So great retailer, really. We're very happy to be able to share the that discount code with you. In addition, there's a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. Heroes Save Villages is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really great organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children, including an ongoing emergency relief operation in the Ukraine. At the time of recording, the Russian invasion of Ukraine is still ongoing, and they continue to provide emergency relief efforts for the kids they were helping before this conflict kicked off, as well as providing emergency response for kids who are affected by that conflict. If you follow the link, you can make your donations, and all donations go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the kids who benefit from those services. And as a small way of saying thank you for your generosity, for every $25 Canadian that you donate, you get one chance to win the grand prize or one of the other great prizes we have in our next charity raffle. Next charity raffle will be June 1st, 2022, so less than 2 months from now. The grand prize in that one is going to be a platinum edition of the Wild Beyond the Witchlight adventure donated by our friends at Beadle & Grimm's Pandemonium Warehouse. If you're not familiar with Beadle & Grimm's has for at least 3 years now made these outstanding deluxe versions of many of the 5th edition adventures that have been published for D&D. They have also, so Wild Beyond the Witchlight keeps up that tradition with this gorgeous box set with a ton of extra stuff in it, including extra adventures and monster hangers for your to hang off of your DM screen. There's a custom DM screen included in it to make running the adventure easier. Bunch of other great stuff, and stuffed animals, maps, and in addition to that, they have just, as of last week, released their first one for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, which may be germane to folks watching this session. That is the gold edition of Absalom City of Lost Omens. I myself actually purchased a copy of it in addition to the copy they've donated, and it is one of the very best, if not the very best, city supplement I've ever seen. In addition to all the contents of the City of Lost Omens hardback that Paizo released, this has a bunch of extra encounters, tons of handouts to make running a campaign in the very complex city of Absalom a lot easier. I did a full unboxing of it a couple of days ago, so you can find a video of that on our channel as well. And that'll be the runner-up prize. So if you don't win the Wild Beyond the Witchlight prize, that'll be our second prize. And in addition to that, we have a bunch of other great prizes, including the full set of the Iron Kingdom's 5th edition rulebooks that was donated by one of our players, Jeffrey, a chainmail dice bag donated by one of our other players, Dave. Actually, and Dave has also donated, reminds me, a copy. I need to pick up a copy of the Monster Manual, but he has a copy of the 89 the 89 Player's Handbook and the 89 DMG. For 2nd edition AD&D that he has donated to as prizes as well. So if you are a fan of more of our old school content on the channel, Dave's also donated that. And I'm going to kick in a Monster Manual once I track one down. Or Monstrous Compendium, I should say. And in addition to that, if you don't win those, there's still a bunch of other great prizes. I will have some other things to kick in addition to some prizes from our Redbubble shop. So it'll be some t-shirts, some posters, some mugs. So lots of great prizes. And again, all donations go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. To date, our community has raised almost $10,000 over the course of the 3 years we've been running this to help the kids who benefit from SOS Children's Villages International's activity. So we're enormously grateful for the generosity that the community has shown. This is our small way of saying thank you. Last thing I will say, speaking of thank you, is to our brave Illuminators who once again have pursued the shadows. So Sean, James, Ingolf, and Darren, thank you so much for playing today, guys. That was a shit ton of fun. Those chase rules are not always fun. You really have to have players who want to embrace the sort of narrative component of that. I had so much fun running that, guys. So thanks so much for bringing your A game, as it were, to this. Golag, I'm going to suggest a little bit of time on the chin-up bar maybe between now and next session to help with that.
I beg your pardon.
Those in glass houses really at this point. So thank you guys. For those listening at home, we'll be back in the streets of Paridar, or rather, should I say, the trains of Paridar in 2 weeks' time. Until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes have encountered in their ongoing investigation into this Elder Order of the Endless Odyssey. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.